Mistakenly identifying my godmother at the airport, now I'm being pursued by a beautiful CEO. A misunderstanding occurred when Chen Xia mistakenly identified a tall, beautiful woman as his godmother, leading to an extremely awkward situation. He thought it was just a small issue that would soon blow over. However, when Chen Xia returned to the company, the tall, beautiful woman appeared as the new CEO. The formidable and efficient female CEO made Chen Xia worry, fearing she might recognize him. Just at that moment, the manager's divine assistance pushed Chen Xia right into the CEO's line of sight. Chapter 1: Mistaken for a Young Mother. Am I really going to call her Little Mom when we meet later? At the South High-Speed Railway Station in Yuhang City, Chen Xia stood dazed on the platform, his eyes glued to the crowd as if waiting for someone, worried he might miss the figure that was about to exit. He muttered to himself. Chen Xia was there to pick someone up, but in reality, he had no idea who he was supposed to be meeting. The story began earlier that morning when Chen Xia was casually lounging in his office. Suddenly, his mom called and told him to meet someone at the high-speed train station for lunch. Is it a relative coming over? Are they unfamiliar with the area? Just pick them up to make it easier. Chen Xia had agreed without a second thought, taking the afternoon off to go. What he didn't expect was that his mom was referring to her best friend, her super close friend. And according to their relationship and seniority, he was supposed to call her Little Mom. He could handle their whole best friend thing, but Little Mom? What kind of nonsense was that? He thought to himself, seriously, Mom, have you discussed this with Dad? As he pondered this, a look of frustration spread across his face. But things were about to get even crazier. When he first got the call, Chen Xia had hurried over without asking what Aunt Tang looked like or her name. And now, when he called his mom again, she wouldn't pick up. Great, he thought, using his toes to guess. His mom was probably busy playing mahjong again. At Yuhang South Station, a steady stream of passengers exited through the gates. It was clear that a train had just arrived, and a new batch of people were coming out. Chen Xia took a deep breath, shook himself awake, and began scanning the crowd for Aunt Tang's figure. Soon, a tall, graceful figure appeared in his sight. Her long black hair fluttered, her face delicate, her figure graceful, and the golden-rimmed glasses added an air of elegance. Beneath her short skirt were legs that were impossible to look away from. Wow! Chen Xia couldn't help but comment to himself, before walking straight toward the beauty without any hesitation. This woman perfectly matched all the descriptions his mom had given about Aunt Tang. Although she was probably in her middle years, she still looked like a young woman in her 20s. She had a pair of stunning, long legs. She exuded the charm of a high-class woman. But what really confirmed his suspicions was the fact that the woman was walking toward him and had glanced his way several times. Yes, it must be her. Chen Xia quickened his pace, excitement rising in his chest. He had thought his mom was exaggerating, but now he realized his expectations had been too small. Aunt Tang wasn't just graceful, she was in her prime. As Aunt Tang walked toward him, just as she was about to reach him, Chen Xia flashed a charming smile and bowed politely. Hello, Aunt Tang. To his surprise, the woman didn't stop. Chen Xia thought maybe his voice was too soft, so he called out again. Aunt Tang, it's me, Chen Xia. My mom sent me to pick you up. Upon hearing his words, the tall, beautiful woman's face froze for a moment. Her eyebrows furrowed slightly, and as she turned around, her commanding, sultry voice rang out. Who are you calling Aunt Tang? Chen Xia's heart skipped a beat. Why did Aunt Tang look so upset? Oh, right. His mom had specifically told him that Aunt Tang always treated him like her own son and wanted him to call her Little Mom. It seemed he had used the wrong address, no wonder she seemed displeased. Chen Xia quickly flashed an apologetic look, correcting himself. Little Mom. Upon hearing Little Mom, the beautiful woman's bright, clear eyes flickered with surprise. She suddenly felt a bit confused about the world. The young man in front of her was clean-cut and good-looking, but why did he have to say something so irritating? Calling her Aunt Tang was one thing, but Little Mom. Was she really at that age? But she figured Aunt Tang was fine. What was this Little Mom nonsense? Looking at this handsome, yet irritating young man, the beautiful woman's lips curled into a playful smile, her eyes filled with amusement. She decided to have a little fun and find out what was going on since, after all, her last name really was Tang. Chen Xia. I'm here. Suddenly, a hurried voice called out. A woman in her early 30s with large waves of hair rushed over to Chen Xia's side. Though her black stockings and long legs didn't match the stunning beauty beside her, she was still quite attractive. Chen Xia immediately broke into a cold sweat, his gaze rapidly shifting between the two women. What was going on? At that moment, Tang's eyes flicked to the woman standing nearby. Her gaze suddenly became fervent, followed by an unexpected look of surprise and excitement. Chen Xia immediately recognized the look on her face. It was the same expression his mom wore when she was about to win at mahjong. After a brief moment of hesitation, Tang smiled warmly and asked, "Are you Chen Xia's girlfriend?" In that instant, Chen Xia finally realized what had happened. He had mistaken someone. Beads of sweat broke out on his forehead, and he felt like his feet were about to drill through the floor. As the saying goes, the worst thing in battle is getting the wrong intelligence. It wasn't really Chen Xia's fault for the mistake. Looking down, the beautiful woman's legs were definitely longer. Of course, this wasn't the time to think about that. He quickly grabbed Aunt Tang's arm. "Aunt Tang, no, I don't know her. Let us go quickly." As he spoke, Chen Xia turned to give the unknown beauty an apologetic smile. "Sorry, I made a mistake." Without further delay, he hurriedly led Aunt Tang away, not daring to look back. As the two of them hurriedly left, Aunt Tang's face revealed a subtle smile. Her beautiful face only enhanced the charm of her grin. At that moment, a luxurious Maybach S680 Formatage Haute Voiture Limited Edition pulled up to the platform. A well-dressed driver rushed out, walking quickly to stand before Aunt Tang. "Miss, I'm so sorry, there was an accident on the road, and we were delayed." Aunt Tang suppressed her smile, gave a slight nod, and got into the car to leave. Chapter 2, Reporting Work. Aunt Tang was truly there for official business, so after a quick lunch, Chen Xia took her back to the company. At 2 p.m., just after returning to the department office, Chen Xia was just in time to hear the manager calling everyone to the conference hall for a meeting. As soon as he sat down in the conference hall, Dongla from the neighboring desk shuffled over to him. "Hey, Xia, didn't you go to pick up your aunt this morning? How did it go?" Dongla, a chubby guy weighing over 200 pounds, had a pretty good relationship with Chen Xia. Everyone called him Fatila. "Oh, don't even mention it. It was so embarrassing." Dongla's eyes instantly lit up, sensing the scent of gossip. "What happened? Tell me everything." Chen Xia frowned deeply. "It was my mom. She insisted I call her little mom. She didn't pick up the phone, so I ended up mistaking someone at the train station. You have no idea, I just grabbed the first leggy beauty I saw and called her little mom. Damn, it was so awkward." Dongla's pupils contracted, his face jiggling as he struggled not to laugh. His lips quivered, but he managed to hold it in. This was because Chen Xia had already raised his hand, clearly ready to give him a beating. The mockery was immediately suppressed and turned into comforting words. "Hey, don't be embarrassed, Xia. Look, Yu Hang is huge, you made a mistake, so what? You'll probably never run into her again. It's fine, don't let it get to you. It's no big deal. The real awkwardness will come when you run into her again, especially if she becomes your friend. But that is not gonna happen, right? No way. Just relax." Dongla laughed. Chen Xia sucked in a breath, realizing Dongla wasn't that dumb after all. He actually had a point. "Well, yeah. If they are never gonna meet again, it's really not worth stressing over." Chen Xia nodded. "True, it was awkward, but it's over now. Anyway, what is this meeting about?" Dongla looked around and whispered mysteriously. "I heard they might be changing the president. Someone from the city is coming." Chen Xia was shocked. "Is that true? I'm just a regular employee, how would I know for sure? I overheard a conversation between the supervisors. Even they aren't certain. We'll find out soon enough." The two of them took their seats in their respective departments. The department manager sat next to them. Soon, more people filed in, and everyone was whispering, waiting in anticipation. Tap tap tap. The sound of high heels echoed through the room. A group of executives walked in, surrounding an elegant figure who made her way to the stage. "Wow, she is stunning." Dongla couldn't help but whisper. The colleagues around them reacted similarly. When they saw the beautiful woman's face, they couldn't help but gossip. Chen Xia, who had been staring at his phone, immediately looked up. He had to see for himself just how beautiful was this new president. But the next moment, his gaze dropped again as he saw a face that he would never want to see again in his life. Was she beautiful? Absolutely. But this was just way too coincidental, wasn't it? Chen Xia froze, almost speechless, because the new female president was none other than the little mom he had mistakenly called out this morning. Damn it, the most awkward part wasn't that little mom might become his friend, it was that she was now his boss. Chen Xia quickly slumped down in his seat, trying his best not to attract attention from the woman on stage. If she noticed him now, after what happened this morning, he'd probably be dragged up there to get an earful. He had to avoid her at all costs, making sure she didn't recognize him. Looks like from now on, he'd have to be low-key. If she found out, it would be game over. If things really got bad, he'd just have to quit and leave. Staying meant he'd just be a pawn in her hands. However, looking at the beautiful new president about to speak, Chen Xia's thoughts shifted. A girl this beautiful must be really kind, right? Considering how she acted this morning, maybe she didn't care about that misunderstanding at all. At this moment, the female president started speaking. She came in with a bang. Several senior executives were called out by name and directly dismissed from their positions. Before arriving, she had already gathered a lot of evidence, and she presented it without hesitation, leaving no room for mercy. Her words were sharp: I won't tolerate any mistakes. The moment she said that, Chen Xia's fantasy of her being gentle was completely shattered. It was clear she was decisive and ruthless. But did that mean? Chen Xia felt like crying. Maybe quitting now was the best idea. If this ice-cold president noticed him, he might never be able to leave. Chen Xia slouched even more, trying his best to hide, waiting for the meeting to end. The female president continued talking, and at the end, suddenly, there was a segment where each department had to report on their work and give speeches. Every department manager and representative employee was required to speak. Chen Xia furrowed his brow, glancing at the department manager and giving him a subtle look. Bro, one look you know what to do. Don't pick me. The department manager, who was also a bit anxious, noticed the subtlety of Chen Xia's glance. The new president insisted that each department select a representative employee to speak, but the manager wasn't sure who to pick. Chen Xia's silent signal made the choice clear. Yes. Chen Xia. He's solid and dependable. He's the one. Seeing the eager expression on Chen Xia's face, the manager felt reassured. Okay, Chen Xia, you've got this, the manager nodded, signaling that everything was fine. Chen Xia sighed in relief. Fortunately, he and the manager had pulled off a subtle behind-the-scenes operation. Otherwise, if he had been pulled up in front of the president, it would have been a disaster. With this issue resolved, Chen Xia kept his head down and focused on hiding. Time passed quickly, and soon it was their department's turn to report. The manager stood up, full of energy, giving an impassioned speech that rallied everyone's spirits. If it wasn't for needing to hide, Chen Xia would have sat up straight and applauded. But in the next moment, the manager's words made Chen Xia go stiff. President Tang, our department's representative employee for the speech is Chen Xia. With that, the manager patted Chen Xia on the shoulder. Come on, Xia, explain to President Tang about our recent project progress. Chapter 3, Just the Right Amount of Rain. The manager's mouth, as hot as 37 degrees, somehow uttered such a cold remark. The female president on stage shifted her gaze toward him. Her pretty face froze for a moment before turning slightly playful, and Chen Xia felt his sweat intensify. That look, it was as if she saw him as prey, and it was terrifying. With everyone watching, Chen Xia had no reason to refuse and could only bite the bullet and walk toward the stage. He steeled himself since he was already exposed, there was no need to cower. Walking confidently up to the stage, he began to report on the work. Seeing the beautiful female president's face might be awkward, so Chen Xia deliberately avoided looking at her and kept his gaze on the crowd. This move, unexpectedly, made Chen Xia appear more confident. It was a stark contrast to the colleagues who reported before him. Well said. As soon as Chen Xia finished, Fatila jumped up and started clapping. The manager beside him went pale and quickly shoved him back down into his seat. Why are you applauding when the leaders haven't even spoken yet? While in a panic, the manager was glad he hadn't picked Fatila to go up. Who knew what mess he would have caused? But to his surprise, the applause didn't stop, it only got louder. Chen Xia's confident performance earned him the applause of the crowd. To his astonishment, even the female president clapped lightly. Seeing her acknowledge him, the manager couldn't help but grin. Choosing Chen Xia to speak had turned out to be a wise decision. Once the applause died down, Chen Xia quickly retreated from the stage, letting out a deep breath. The president's reaction seemed to indicate that she wasn't bothered by the incident anymore, right? Looks like he had overthought it. After all, she was the president, she must have the grace to overlook such things. With this thought, Chen Xia felt much more at ease for the rest of the proceedings. Getting through this was definitely the best outcome. After all, it wasn't easy to find a good job nowadays. On stage, the female president began her closing remarks. Overall, things look good. I have a much deeper understanding of the company. I hope everyone can maintain this spirit and dedicate yourselves to the work ahead. There are few vacant positions, so I hope you all strive to do your best. Alright, that's all for today. Meeting dismissed. After making her promises, the female president concluded the meeting. Chen Xia felt his whole body relax as he prepared to sneak out. By the way, Chen Xia from the marketing department, please stay. I need to learn more about the project you mentioned earlier. Everyone else can leave. Bang! The words hit Chen Xia like a bolt of lightning, leaving him numb. His colleagues shot him envious glances. The manager, looking as though he was assigning a serious task, patted Chen Xia on the shoulder. Go for it, Xia. You got this. Fatila even chimed in cheekily, Xia, the president's so beautiful. You better perform well. As the room began to empty, Chen Xia's previously relaxed body tensed up again. The female president gathered her things and, with her long legs, walked past Chen Xia. Come to my office. A pleasant fragrance wafted past him, but Chen Xia had no time to appreciate it, he quickly followed her. The spacious office was well equipped, with a sofa and coffee table on the left, some green plants decorating the space. On the opposite side, there was a desk with 2 computers and various other items like decorative objects and tissues. The large floor-to-ceiling windows provided great natural light, making the office bright and airy. You were involved in the project, tell me more. The more details, the better. The female president sat down at her desk and, while sorting through some documents, spoke without looking up. Chen Xia was stunned. Was this really just a work report? The tension in his chest relaxed for the second time. Chen Xia shared everything he knew about the project. The female president seemed quite satisfied, her lips curving slightly as she moved her gaze from the documents to focus on him. Good, the report is very clear. What position do you hold in the marketing department? Chen Xia's heart skipped a beat. Could it be she was offering him a promotion? Just an ordinary employee. Chen Xia quickly replied. Tang Xuxia leaned back in her chair. All seems normal, but why did you call me little mom when you first came up? Do I look that old? Chen Xia's heart sank completely. Oh no, why is this topic coming up again? President, can we talk about something else? This is so awkward. No, I'm really sorry, President Tang. I mistook you for someone else. My aunt shares the same surname as you. She and my mom are very close, and she treats me like a godson, so. Chen Xia felt every cell in his body cringe with embarrassment as he awkwardly tried to explain himself. Tang Xuxia's smile deepened, and she teased, so, are you saying I randomly gained a godson? If others find out, how am I ever going to get married? Chen Xia's mind screamed 1,000 times, I'll take responsibility if you can't get married. Though he thought that, he didn't dare to say it out loud, knowing she was just joking. He quickly waved his hand. President Tang, you're like a celestial being, I'm sure there are plenty of people who line up from here to France to pursue you. There's no way that would happen. The little mom thing was definitely a misunderstanding. If you're not upset, I'd like to treat you to a meal as an apology. Chen Xia recalled Fatila's words in his mind. Let us wait and see, but I don't want you calling me little mom in front of so many people again. Definitely not, definitely not. Tang Xuxia waved her hand, and Chen Xia immediately understood. He quickly took his leave. Watching him hurry away, Tang Xuxia's smile deepened. This handsome young man was a bit interesting. What? You want to invite the president to dinner? You? Sure. Chen Xia quickly covered Fatty La's mouth. This guy was so nosy, and as soon as Chen Xia returned, he bombarded him with questions. Chen Xia had no choice but to tell him what happened. Fatty La quickly nodded, signaling he wouldn't shout, and Chen Xia released his hand. Xia, you're so bold. The president just arrived, and you already dared to invite her to dinner. I only invited her to apologize. Otherwise, how would I dare? Fatty La hesitated for a moment, then said, if you're going to dinner with the president, you've got to order something nice. I've got a bit of spare cash. Want to borrow some? Wow, you're so generous today. Chen Xia laughed. Fatty La looked serious. What do you mean, generous? We're the closest in the whole company. Isn't it only right? If you and the president hit it off, don't forget about me. Chen Xia chuckled. You're thinking way ahead. Not gonna happen. The president hasn't agreed to anything yet. Keep your money for yourself. Just then, the manager walked over. The two stopped talking immediately. The manager had come to find Chen Xia, worried something might go wrong with the president, but Chen Xia had handled it well, so the manager left satisfied. At 8 p.m., Chen Xia stood at the company building's entrance, feeling a bit frustrated. It had started raining heavily, and he hadn't noticed when it began. Chen Xia had a car, a used VW Lavender, parked in front of the company building in the parking lot. He had planned to wait until the rain died down, but it only got heavier. Unable to wait any longer, he had no choice but to run to the car. The raindrops were large, and by the time he reached the car, he was completely soaked. He quickly opened the door, got inside, and started the car, cranking the heater up to dry off. But then, he noticed the fuel gauge was almost empty, just a needle's width away from zero. Damn, I forgot to refuel. Chen Xia immediately felt unlucky. With so little fuel left, he couldn't make it to the nearest gas station and would likely end up stranded on the road, which would only cause more trouble. Well, I'm already soaked. I might as well ride a shared bike. Chen Xia wrapped his phone in a plastic bag and, with no other choice, got out of the car, braving the rain to walk toward the main road, looking for a bike. At that moment, a Maybach S680 emerged from the parking garage and turned onto the main road. Miss, President Tang asked me to bring you over within 10 minutes. I might need to drive a little faster. The driver reminded her. Tang Xia, slightly irritated, responded with a soft hum, then turned her gaze toward the window. Suddenly, a familiar figure appeared in her line of sight. Wait a second. Pull over. The driver quickly steered the car to the side of the road. Chapter 4, The CEO's Troubles. On the roadside, the trees blocking the rain, it became much lighter. Chen Xia had just found a shared bike. Before he could pull out his phone to scan the QR code from the plastic bag, he saw a Maybach slowly pulling over. It was a Maybach S680. Chen Xia recognized the car. He had dreamt of driving it before. In reality, only the rich and powerful could afford such a car. Chen Xia didn't think there would be any connection between him and the owner of this car. He took out his phone, ready to scan for his bike. To his surprise, the Maybach stopped just a few steps away. The door opened, and a familiar, commanding voice suddenly rang out. Get in. The two simple words made Chen Xia freeze for a moment. Looking up, the person in the backseat was none other than the new CEO. Damn it. What a way to run into the CEO in such a sorry state. Hurry up. Another command. Chen Xia hurried over to the car, about to get in. As he saw the luxurious, spotless interior, he hesitated for a second. President, the rain isn't too heavy. I can ride my bike home. Thank you, though. Stop hesitating and get in. The CEO frowned, and her tone was clearly annoyed. Chen Xia immediately panicked and quickly climbed into the car. The driver hit the gas. Sorry, President. Chen Xia glanced at his soaked clothes and pants, feeling awkward. It was that he didn't want to sit in the Maybach, it was just that he didn't want to dirty the seats. It's none of your concern. Where are you headed? Tang Xia's brow softened a little. Chen Xia felt relieved upon hearing this. It seemed the CEO was angry about something else. I'm getting off at the intersection of Jingxiuda Road, thank you. Chen Xia replied politely. Tang Xia nodded. To Jingxiuda Road. The driver glanced at the rearview mirror with some hesitation. Miss, but President Tang asked me to. I'll speak to him. When Tang Xia mentioned President Tang, her voice seemed to freeze, and her tone became even colder. All right. The driver, helpless, turned the car right at the intersection. Soaked through and only wearing a short-sleeve shirt, Chen Xia couldn't help but feel a chill. Instinctively crossing his arms, the move didn't escape the notice of the CEO sitting beside him. Tang Xia looked around the car, finding very few items inside, no blankets or anything like that. She withdrew her gaze, took off her coat, and tossed it to Chen Xia. Chen Xia felt a bit dazed as a soft, pleasant fragrance enveloped him. President, really, you don't need to, I'm almost home. You keep it on. Chen Xia handed the coat back. Wear it. Tang Xia rested her chin in her right hand, her eyes half closed, speaking little. It was clear she was still upset. Chen Xia realized that if he kept refusing, he might get on her bad side, so he obediently put on the coat. The faint fragrance was truly captivating. It didn't smell like laundry detergent or fabric softener. Chen Xia suspected it was her natural scent. A little while later, the driver stopped at the intersection of Jingxiuda Road. The rain outside had lightened significantly, from pouring down in sheets to a soft drizzle. President, I'll have the coat cleaned and bring it to the office to return it. Thank you so much. Chen Xia got out of the car and said as he closed the door. He ran over to the nearby bus stop to avoid the rain. The Maybach soon disappeared at the intersection. Oh, what a bad day. Chen Xia muttered to himself, watching the Maybach disappear. The awkwardness from calling her little mom had just started to wear off, and now he was a drenched chicken hitching a ride. Could this embarrassment never end? Still, the smell really is nice. Chen Xia held the coat, running toward the Jingxiu district. Wanghu Tower, the largest restaurant in Yuhang City. In the private room on the top floor. Xiao Liu, was there something on the road? Why are you so late? A man, around 50 years old, asked. He had well-defined features and a sharp gaze, looking handsome in his youth. I asked him to drop off an employee, Tang Xia spoke up first. Tang Jin waved his hand, and the driver, Xiao Liu, quickly left the private room. Turning to his daughter, Tang Jin asked, an employee? You had to personally send them. Was it a man or a woman? Oh, Lao Tang, don't be so impatient. One thing at a time. Xia, what is their family like? What do they look like? How tall are they? Tang Jin turned to his wife, one thing at a time, he said, though she didn't seem to follow that logic. Tang Xia felt a headache coming on. She was facing one of the most stressful issues young people often encounter, marriage pressure. At 26, Tang Xia didn't think it was too late. She wasn't in a hurry. But her parents didn't share that view. To outsiders, someone like Xia, from a wealthy family, would be assumed to have plenty of suitors and never worry about such things. But the reality was far from that. Her parents only had Xia as their child, and they had devoted a lot of care to her upbringing, even sending her abroad for further education. Throughout her life, she hadn't even had a boyfriend, let alone a close male friend. Now that her parents were getting older, their desire for grandchildren had grown stronger, and they began pushing for marriage. Tang Xia had a lot of pent-up frustration. They used to forbid her from interacting too much with male friends, and now they were pressuring her to get married. It felt like double standards. He's just an ordinary employee, stop guessing. Tang Xia said helplessly. Liu Yi's tone softened. Xia, don't rush. We're trying to help you too. Your dad's business partners, some of them have sons. Their conditions are good. Maybe you can meet them sometime. Tang Xia was confused. When did she become impatient? No, thank you. You don't want to meet the young men from the capital, but you can find someone in Yuhang City. Tang Jin chimed in. Tang Xia felt like her head was going to explode. It was precisely to escape marriage pressure that she ran away from the capital to Yuhang City. Now, not only did her parents follow her here, but they also wanted to source locally. I said no. I know how to handle my own affairs. I'm not hungry, I'm leaving now. Tang Xia began to stand up to escape. Liu Yi quickly grabbed her arm. Okay, we won't mention it anymore. She exchanged a look with her husband and added, Lao Tang, let us get the dishes served. A moment later, 7 or 8 waiters entered the private room with dishes. Good evening, esteemed guests. The dishes you ordered are ready. The first dish is more children, more happiness, followed by the second dish is full house of children and grandchildren, and the third dish. Tang Xuxia rubbed her temples, her vision darkening. What did these dishes have to do with their names? Were they just being forced together? The waiter seemed embarrassed to continue, clearly struggling. Looking at her parents' delighted faces, it was obvious they were behind this plan. Xuxia, try these. They are all your favorite dishes. Let us see how they compare to the ones from the capital. Once the dishes were served, Liu Yi spoke up. Tang Xuxia felt helpless. The dishes were indeed ones she liked, but her parents had changed their names. Mom, Dad, please stop wasting your energy. I'll figure this out on my own, okay? Her parents exchanged glances, and Tang Jin said, of course, we'll respect your opinion. But our child finally agreed, Liu Yi interrupted. Xuxia, if you find someone you like, bring him to meet us, okay? Tang Xuxia could only nod. I have to return to the office tomorrow. Here is the contact information of some well-off young men from Yuhang City. Add them and try to get to know them. We're not pressuring you, but you're not getting any younger. Tang Jin handed over his phone, and there were more than 10 contacts listed under the memo. Tang Xuxia just wanted to get this over with. Fine, I'll add them when I get back. Her parents stopped talking and just stared at her. Tang Xuxia sighed and pulled out her phone, adding each contact one by one. Only then did her parents smile with satisfaction. At the same time, at Jingxiuxiao District 603, a phone on the coffee table suddenly lit up and vibrated. Chapter 5, The Girlfriend in My Writings Becomes Real, and the Goddess Wants a Cuddle. Jinxiu Community, Apartment 603. Chen Xia stared at the friend request on his phone, feeling a bit puzzled. Who is this person named Xingyu? It seemed to be a girl. Although Chen Xia was quite handsome, he wasn't one to go out much, and he rarely had girls proactively at him on WeChat. Curious, Chen Xia accepted the request and went to check the other person's moments for clues. 3-day visibility, with only one post. It was a photo of a graceful figure dressed in a purple chiffon skirt by the seaside at sunset. In the light and shadows, the girl's elegant figure was captivating. The comments below were filled with praise and admiration, clearly indicating that she was indeed a beauty in real life. Chen Xia turned off his phone, sat at his desk, and opened his writing software. That's right, in addition to his regular job, Chen Xia spent his spare time writing books on Yangshi, a fictional writing platform. He had written a few books, though they didn't perform particularly well, but Chen Xia still enjoyed it. After all, the platform was full of talented people who were easy to talk to, and Chen Xia loved interacting with them. His new book was called The Girlfriend in My Writings Becomes Real, and the Goddess Wants a Cuddle. It was his third book, a sweet romance. Once his fingers touched the keyboard, Chen Xia's thoughts flowed smoothly, quickly getting into the writing zone. Meanwhile, in Hongshu District, at a duplex villa, Tang Xuxia had wrapped up work-related matters and dragged her tired body back to her room. Her phone buzzed with a message from her best friend, Chen Xia, who lived in the capital city. Xuxia, how is it going? Everything going smoothly? Tang Xuxia flopped onto her soft bed and replied. Everything is fine at the company, but can you believe my parents came all the way to Yuhang to pressure me about marriage? Can you feel my pain? Woo-woo.jpg. Chen Xia replied almost instantly. I really feel for you. If it were me, I'd be so annoyed. If they keep pushing, I'd probably just find a guy I like and pretend he is my boyfriend. Xuxia, this might not be a bad idea. Tang Xuxia turned over on the bed, her curvy figure alluring. You've been reading too many novels, haven't you? That won't work. What if my parents find out? I can't fake a marriage. Who said anything about faking a marriage? You can just find a guy you like and pretend he is your boyfriend for now. Once you have a boyfriend, your parents won't be so worried, and you can use him as a shield. Tang Xuxia sat up, leaning against the headboard. I still think it's not a good idea. No worries, I'm just suggesting. It depends on your situation. I'll send you a book in a bit. It's really sweet, and who knows, it might make you want to start a relationship. A link quickly followed. Check it out, it's a good read. It's not super popular yet, but I guarantee that it'll be a hit soon. My friend is calling me to play games. I'll talk to you later. Chen Xia was a bit of a homebody, with a novel in one hand and a game controller in the other. Tang Xuxia chuckled, planning to get up for a drink of water. But just then, her phone buzzed again with a string of screaming notifications, like an overwhelming barrage of messages. Phew tilde. Tang Xuxia flipped her hair, feeling a little irritated, and picked up her phone. Xiao Li Xiao, hey Xuxia, I'm Li Shu. We met in the capital city. Fei Kai, are you around? I just got a new Porsche. Want to go to Westlake? Picture of a Porsche 918. Deep feelings, easily disappointed. Hi, I'm Ji Xiao. Nice to meet you. Tang Jin, using his connections, had recommended the best batch of eligible young men from Yuhang for his daughter. Each of these young men had family backgrounds worth hundreds of millions, and most of them weren't bad looking. It was said that a good match comes from having similar social standings, and with the Tang family's wealth in the tens of billions, they couldn't just accept anyone as a son-in-law. At the very least, someone from a working-class background wouldn't do. Tang Xuxia's slender fingers quickly swiped through their messages, marking them all as read and deleting the chat windows. She had added these friends to appease her parents. Soon, she clicked on the last one. To her surprise, this person, Xia Ji, had not sent any messages at all. This unusual behavior sparked a little curiosity in Tang Xuxia, so she went to check out Xia Ji's moments. Only one post, with 3-day visibility. Parents are out of town, staying up late to code. The photo showed someone with heavy dark circles under their eyes, looking thin and frail an author. It was an image she had seen online before. Another novel writer, Tang Xuxia thought. This post certainly piqued her interest. She usually read novels, though not as much as Chen Liao, the little homebody. With her long fingers, she tapped the screen twice, and the red heart under the post lit up. Tang Xuxia returned to her chat with Chen Liao and clicked on the book link. As the page loaded, a sweet urban romance appeared. This title just like Lei Yao, Tang Xuxia chuckled. She clicked to start reading, intending to kill some time by reading a few chapters. Before long, a smile appeared on her face. Her emotions followed the plot, and she gradually lost track of time. Outside, the night grew deeper. At 11:30 p.m., on the other side of the city, Chen Xia stretched lazily. He had posted 6 chapters today, and the readers were excited. It was getting late, so he picked up his phone, ready to wash up and sleep. He saw the green bubble notification. So late, was there something urgent from the company? He quickly tapped the notification to check. But to his surprise, it was just a like on his moments. The person who liked his post seemed to be the beautiful girl who added him today. Chen Xia immediately sat back down. A gorgeous girl added him and liked his post. Could this be a sign of good luck? He opened the chat window with Qing Yu, typed, "Are you there?" but felt it was too formal and deleted it. He typed, "Hello," instead, but it felt too distant, so he deleted that too. While pondering, Chen Xia glanced at the time. His fingers quickly moved, typing out a message and sending it. "Good night, sweet dreams." He then tossed his phone aside and went to wash up and sleep. Mom will be back from playing mahjong for a while, and Dad has already gone to bed. On the other side, in the villa, Tang Xuxia received the message and showed a puzzled look on her pretty face. Looking at the other party's tone, why is it like an acquaintance? It feels very unexpected. After thinking for a while, apart from her parents, there is no one with whom she has a good relationship in Yuhang. "Yeah, you too." Tang Xuxia replied politely. She didn't feel so strongly annoyed about this summer solstice. Tang Xuxia returned to Yangxizi and left a bookmark. This book was beyond her expectations. It was really sweet, and she felt much better after reading it. Give you some encouragement. Tang Xuxia recharged 5,000 in one breath and gave it all away. A gift of 5,000 is already a lot in Yangxizi. Putting down the phone, Tang Xuxia walked into the bathroom, took off her clothes, and started to take a bath. The sound of water splashing was pleasant. The phone on the table was still on, showing the Yangxizi bookshelf interface, and the name of the first book at the top was a bit long. It's called My Girlfriend Comes True, Goddess Asks for Stickers. At the same time, in the study, Tang Jin was reading the novel of the same name with a smile on his face. It would be great if Xuxia thought so too. While talking to himself, he pointed to the gift. Chapter 6 Young Master Chu. The next morning, Chen Xia went to work as usual. Last night, I was late for work this morning because of the update. Now I am going to be late. Fortunately, I have arrived downstairs of the company. Chen Xia pressed the elevator button and waited anxiously. The elevator showed that it was going up from the 2th floor. It stopped on the 1st floor and opened slowly. Chen Xia rushed in. Just as he was about to press the floor, he was stunned. "Hello, President." "Hello. I washed your clothes, but they are not dry yet. I will bring them to you tomorrow." Yes, it was none other than the female president Chen Xia. I have been unlucky recently, right? Every time I meet a female president, it is so embarrassing. Yeah. Tang Xia looked at the time. She read novels until very late yesterday, so she was a little late today and didn't say much. The elevator went up, and the atmosphere in the small space was a little strange. Chen Xia smelled the faint fragrance again, which was really good. "Your home is not far from the company, right?" The female president suddenly asked when they were almost on the 24th floor. Chen Xia's heart tightened. Could he still not escape? "Yes, that. I slept a little late last night. Go to bed early in the future. Your health is important." Unexpectedly, the female president said in a gentle tone. At this time, the elevator arrived and the door opened. The female president took a long step and walked away first. Chen Xia walked out of the elevator and stared at the female president's back. Is she caring about herself? Smiling and shaking his head, Chen Xia returned to the department and started today's work. As the saying goes, work and rest are combined. If you want to be efficient, you still have to slack off after working for a while. Chen Xia's slack off is typing. It's strange to say that sometimes, inspiration bursts out in the company, and when you get home, your brain is like paste, and you have no ideas at all. 6 chapters were updated last night, and Chen Xia has few chapters left. Chen Xia has to write a few more chapters in case of emergency. Since he started writing books, he has basically never asked for leave. He feels that asking for leave is irresponsible to his readers who like him. Opening the Yangxizi writer assistant, Chen Xia minimized the window. Although this is a bit eye-straining, the advantage is that it is not easy to be discovered by managers and other executives. Soon, Chen Xia entered the typing state. The speed is faster than at home, and inspiration keeps coming. At this time, Lapangzi at the next workstation will help to watch. But today, I don't know what this kid ate last night, and he ran to the toilet more than 10 times. He is still in the toilet now. The more Chen Xia types, the more he feels, and his defensive psychology gradually weakens a lot. I didn't notice that Tang Xia came over with documents from behind. Tang Xia didn't wear high heels today, so she didn't make much noise when she walked. "Xiao He, give your department's documents to your manager Wang." The voice of the female president suddenly sounded behind him, and Chen Xia was startled. He quickly closed the writer's assistant, cut out the project file, and looked at it in a formal manner. I kept praying in my heart, didn't he see me? Didn't see me. Chen Xia, come to my office. Chen Xia's heart was once again completely dead. Oh my God. Is it necessary to do this to me? Helplessly, he stood up and prepared to follow. Fatila happened to come over, holding his stomach. Brother Xia, the president is looking for you again? What's the matter? Alas, I was caught slacking off by her. This time it's over. Chen Xia said with despair. Fatila wanted to laugh but didn't dare to, so he could only say with a sad face, Brother Xia, do you need me to help you pack your things in advance? ITM. Chen Xia raised his hand, and the other party hurriedly ran away with a smile. President's office. The female president slid the mouse, her eyes were always on the computer screen, and she ignored Chen Xia directly. This action made Chen Xia even more nervous, and he had no idea what she was going to do. Slacking off can be big or small, and most people will slack off. If you are not caught, everything will be fine. If you are caught, especially if you are caught by the president himself, the matter may be serious. Seeing that the president ignored her, Chen Xia took the initiative to speak. President, you don't have to do this, you can kill me or cut me. Okay, come here. The female president's words interrupted Chen Xia. Chen Xia was confused and walked to the side of the female president. Instantly felt like a persecution patient. There were some tables on the computer screen, as well as PTTS to be optimized. What do you mean by killing me or cutting me? I want to make a project summary. You are quite reliable and familiar with the project, so I asked you to come. Let's get started. The female president said. Chen Xia was shocked. President, here. Shouldn't Chen Xia send it to her after it was done? Tang Shuxia said while opening the tomatoes. Well, so you don't have to slack off, I'll keep an eye on you. Okay, Chen Xia was confused. It turned out that her sister saw it. Okay. Feeling guilty, Chen Xia quickly entered the working state. Tang Shuxia on the opposite side kept looking at her mobile phone, smiling from time to time. As the president, let alone looking at the phone during working hours, even if she didn't come to the company, no one dared to say anything. The task was not difficult, but it was rather tedious. There was a lot of information to be summarized and integrated. Chen Xia worked hard all morning. After a short break in the afternoon, he was pulled by the female president to continue working. At 7:35 p.m., the last 25 minutes to get off work. Chen Xia was already very tired and was about to get up to get a glass of water when a noise suddenly came from outside the office. Sir, you can go to the reception room and wait first. I will transfer you to Mr. Tang. I said it's not necessary. My relationship with Shuxia doesn't require these. Don't block the way. As a young male voice came, the office door was pushed open. A fair-skinned and handsome man with a middle-parted hairstyle and a custom-made suit walked in. Scanning across the desk, seeing Tang Shuxia on the sofa, a smile immediately appeared on his face. Shuxia. Long time no see. Tang Shuxia's beautiful face showed surprise. Brother Yuxuan. Didn't you go to Spain? She stood up to greet him. From Tang Shuxia's tone and performance, this man really has a good relationship with her. If I didn't come back, you would have been kidnapped by someone else. Har, come, I brought you some gifts. Chu Yuxuan waved, and the little assistant in a black suit behind him brought up various precious jewelry gifts. Tang Shuxia's mouth corners obviously bent down a little when she heard Chu Yuxuan's words, but she still asked him to sit down and made him a cup of tea. Brother Yuxuan, how is Uncle Chu's health? I haven't gone home yet, I flew directly to Yuhang to see you. Chu Yuxuan took a sip of tea and said. Tang Shuxia was very surprised. Brother Yuxuan, you are joking again. No. I'm serious. I came back this time just for you. Aunt Liu told me to come back and see. Hearing this, Tang Shuxia smiled bitterly. It was indeed her mother. Chu Yuxuan is 2 years older than Tang Shuxia. Originally, the Tang and Chu families had a good relationship, the kind of old friends. Tang Shuxia and Chu Yuxuan also grew up together and were childhood sweethearts. But later in the business world, the two families had some conflicts, which gradually became difficult to reconcile, and the relationship cooled down. 2 years ago, Chu Yuxuan went to Spain to take over the company, and the two had not seen each other again, only chatting on the phone from time to time. Brother Yuxuan, I told you a few years ago that we. Shuxia, I know your concerns. You must have taken into account some of the past between our two families, but that has passed. We can't always live in the past, right? Our feelings should not be affected by those things. As Chu Yuxuan spoke, he suddenly took out a box from his arms. Ding! At the critical moment, the glass on the desk suddenly slipped and shattered with a harsh sound. Chen Xia swore that he didn't mean it. Chapter 7, Freeloader is your lie. Brother Yuxuan, you misunderstood. I told you before that my feelings for you are only friendship. Tang Shuxia stood up and said solemnly, I don't care about those things in the past. Those things will not hinder my feelings for anyone. Go. Say hello to Uncle Chu and Aunt Li for me. Chu Yuxuan retracted his gaze and looked at Tang Shuxia in disbelief. Shuxia, am I not good enough? I am only 28 years old now, and I am worth billions. Is it not enough? Tang Shuxia shook her head. Brother Yuxuan, your view on feelings is too one-sided. I don't know about others, but for me, suitability is more important than excellence. Chu Yuxuan wanted to continue, but seeing Tang Shuxia's serious face, he sighed, I won't push you too hard. You are in a bad mood today. Let's talk later. After that, he rushed out. One wave has not yet subsided, another wave rises. Tang Shuxia just sat down when her cell phone rang. Shuxia, have you seen Yuxuan? I asked him to see you as soon as he came back. Mom, don't you know how I feel about him? I have always regarded him as a brother, and I have clearly told him my thoughts. Why did you still tell him those things? Tang Xuxia is now very upset. Not only did she call Chu Yuxuan back without telling her, but she also asked him to come to the company. With so many employees watching, what would they think? A smiling voice came from the phone. Xuxia, Yuxuan is a good child. He grew up with you and knows you very well. His family conditions are very good. You don't have to worry about the things between his father and old Tang. I will persuade them for you. Like Chu Yuxuan, Liu Yi also believes that Tang Xuxia keeps a distance from Chu Yuxuan because of the conflict between their parents. But in Tang Xuxia's heart, she always respects Chu Yuxuan as a brother. After a long sigh, Tang Xuxia did not get angry. She said the breaking news in a calm tone, "Mom, I already have a boyfriend." What? Xuxia, what did you say? Liu Yi's surprised voice came. Tang Xuxia said word by word, sonorous and powerful, "I said, I have a boyfriend. Old Tang. Old Tang, come quickly. My daughter said she has a boyfriend." After 2 seconds, Tang Zhen's voice sounded, "Xuxia, are you serious? Whose son is it?" Chen Xia was sweeping the broken glass at this time. Her movements were very light and slow. "The Chen family," Tang Xuxia said. Chen Xia was shocked and looked up, but she didn't expect to meet the female president's eyes. She quickly retracted her gaze and pretended to be busy sweeping the broken glass. "The Chen family. Chen Liuyan's son. He works in real estate, not bad." Tang Zhen guessed. Tang Xuxia leaned on the sofa. "It's not him." "It's not him? Among the people I gave you, only one has the surname Chen? Your boyfriend is not one of those young men." "Yes. This." Their voice was interrupted again, followed by Liu Yi's voice, "What's this?" "Xuxia, it's okay. Your father and I are very happy and supportive of you finding a boyfriend. Can you bring him back to us? Let's talk about it later. Don't let other boys come to me, he will be jealous." Tang Xuxia smiled. Liu Yi's laughter suddenly rang out on the phone. "Wait." Tang Zhen took over the right to speak again. "Xuxia, it's not that Dad doesn't believe you, but you are not allowed to find a fake boyfriend to fool us." "Yes, yes, yes." Liu Yi responded. Tang Xuxia's smile disappeared, and she said seriously, "Really, he is next to me, I can send you a photo to see." "Really? Send it to Mom to see." Liu Yi's tone was full of impatience. "Wait a moment." Tang Xuxia put her phone on the table and stood up to walk towards Chen Xia. Chen Xia's heart was full of galloping horses. What does it mean? Boyfriend? Boyfriend with the surname Chen? Could it be? Chen Xia couldn't believe it. Could it be that she was destined to be a gigolo in this life? Quickly she swept up the broken glass and put the broom aside. Suddenly, the female president walked towards the office door in the direction of the female president. How beautiful the thought is, how deeply hurt it is. Unexpectedly, the boyfriend the female president was talking about was not herself. Chen Xia instantly fell to the bottom. It turned out that he was still that little coolie. Click. The office door closed tightly. "Come here, I'll take a picture of you, be happy." The female president turned around, and the smile on her face seemed to be able to dispel all their haze. Chen Xia's heart, which had not yet completely calmed down, jumped violently. Take a picture. She just said that she would send a picture of her boyfriend, which means Chen Xia didn't expect happiness to come so suddenly. This was all a dream scene. "Come here." Tang Xuxia waved. Chen Xia swallowed and walked to the president. Tang Xuxia raised her phone and was about to press the shutter. Suddenly she put it down again. She took 2 steps with her long legs and came to Chen Xia's right foot, and stretched out her slender hands to help Chen Xia tidy up her clothes. The charming fragrance instantly surrounded Chen Xia. "Smile." The female president looked up, and tenderness appeared in her watery eyes. People can't help but smile when they see beautiful things. Chen Xia swore that he smiled for this reason. It was not because of his future life of being a gigolo. Tang Xuxia raised her phone again and took a photo. Chen Xia looked very handsome, even if he was just wearing a simple white shirt, thin jacket and jeans, he was very photogenic. After taking the photo, Tang Xuxia sent it to her mother. Liu Yi was so anxious that the phone rang the next second. Chen Xia returned to her desk, doing her unfinished work while listening to the conversation between the female president. Wow, Xia, you have a good eye. This little boy is sunny and handsome. Mom likes him very much. He looks a little young. What's his education? And his family situation? What does his family do? Tang Jin asked immediately. Don't be anxious. Your daughter has finally found a boyfriend. You only know to ask these questions. Liu Yi blamed. He is 2 years younger than me. He graduated from Yuhang University. His family has a lot of businesses, from seafood to cars, and several companies. He is a very good person, especially to me. Tang Xia said nonsense seriously. Chen Xia's hands trembled when she heard it. Sister, if you didn't say it, I wouldn't know that my family is so awesome. Of course, Chen Xia agreed with the last sentence. When it comes to being nice to people, Chen Xia thinks she is invincible. If nothing else, her superb cooking skills are also up to par. What's the specific name of his company? Tang Jin asked. You need my help? Okay, I'll be right there. Dad, the general manager needs me for something, let's talk later, I'm hanging up. Hey, Xia, find a time to have dinner together as soon as possible, remember to tell him. Tang Xia didn't answer and hung up the phone. She got up and walked to Chen Xia's side. Chen Xia was very nervous at the moment. They were already boyfriend and girlfriend, so what would happen next? Is it okay to borrow a photo from you? The female CEO's eyes were on the computer screen. Just borrow it. What? Do I have to pay you? No, that's not the case. Chen Xia sighed inwardly. It seems that it is not so easy to eat this gigolo. At the same time, at Yuhang Liuhua Airport, Tang Jin and Liu Yi got on the return bus. She must have lied to us. But she sent us photos. It can't be fake, right? The photos are real, and the person is real, but the boyfriend she mentioned is fake, and the other party's identity is not right. It doesn't matter if she lied to us, but I'm afraid that she will really find a young boy as her boyfriend in a hurry. What should we do? There is only one photo, and it is not easy for us to find someone. No need to look for it. Make a surprise inspection of my daughter's residence tonight. Chapter 8: The first meal with the president. Not bad, let's continue tomorrow. In the office, Tang Xia praised. Chen Xia smiled bitterly, it's my duty. Not being able to eat free rice, I'm not in a good mood. Tang Xia pointed to the time, it was already 8:15. Chen Xia stood up and prepared to leave. Just walk to the door. I'll pick you up at 9 o'clock and treat you to dinner. Tang Xia was fiddling with the computer. Her profile was already beautiful, and with the sunset shining in from the side, this scene was so beautiful that Chen Xia was quite dazed. Chen Xia didn't answer. Tang Xia cast a look. Oh, good. Good. Chen Xia reacted and her mood suddenly became good. Pushing the door out, looking at a glance, all eyes, and then retracted. Back to the workstation, Fatila hurried over. Brother, what's wrong with you? You've been in the president's office all day. Other people in the same department pricked up their ears. Chen Xia smiled bitterly. What are you thinking about? The president asked me to summarize the project for her, and I'm so tired that I want to vomit. Some disappointed voices suddenly sounded around. Lepanzi moved closer. Brother Xia, are you sure nothing interesting happened? Why did that rich second generation leave in a huff? Interesting things. I want it to happen too. But he's the president, how could it be possible? As for that rich second generation, I don't know much about it. Chen Xia didn't want to offend the president, and there was no useful information in his words. Lepanzi obviously heard it. You didn't say anything. By the way, Brother Xia, you were in the president's office, and I didn't tell you that your phone has been ringing for a day because I was afraid of disturbing you. Hearing this, Chen Xia quickly took the phone on the table. When the screen was turned on, there were 99 plus green bubble messages and more than a dozen missed calls. Chen Xia was confused. What happened? His handsomeness was discovered by thousands of girls. After unlocking the door, I found that the message was sent by the same person. The phone call was also made by the same person. Chen Xia was quite familiar with this person. Li Yu, the editor of Yarn Shizi. When Chen Xia first started writing books, people would reply to messages every hour or so. Why is he so enthusiastic today? Looking through the message records, Chen Xia became excited. The new book seems to be popular. The editor who used to ignore him changed his name. Brother, please reply to me when you see the message, thank you. Brother, what are you doing? There is an official group of masters here. Please join it and you will have the opportunity to participate in activities first in the future. Brother, your book has obtained the qualification for audiobook change. You need to fill in the information. Brother, several animation companies want to buy the copyright. Please reply to the message and discuss it together. Chen Xia looked at these messages and couldn't help getting excited. After writing books for so long, this is the first time I feel the enthusiasm of the editor. Without rushing to reply, Chen Xia first clicked into the foreign tomato writer assistant to check the data of the book yesterday. After refreshing more than 10 meters, the red data was displayed. Damn! Chen Xia refreshed several times to make sure that the numbers in front of him were real. Tens, hundreds, thousands, and millions. More than 700,000 people are reading today. Yesterday's reading was less than 10,000, and the 700,000 were all skyrocketed today. The second column is the income. For most authors, for every 100 people reading, the author can get 1 yuan. Some high ones can reach 1 yuan and a half or 2 yuan. Chen Xia's unit price is relatively high, reaching 1 yuan and 6 yuan. In other words, based on yesterday's data, I got 11,200 yuan today. Daily income exceeded 10,000. This data is already the peak in the book writing industry. What I had imagined countless times before has now become a reality, and Chen Xia is so excited that his hands are shaking. This sense of satisfaction that his efforts are finally recognized makes people's noses sour. I was unlucky yesterday, is it rebounding from the bottom now? Let's go, Lao Xia, what are you grinning about? Lepangzi's voice came. Chen Xia quickly packed up and left the company with Lepangzi. On their way, he invited him to drink a cup of milk tea. Back home, Chen Xia's excitement continued. He began to reply to the editor and finished talking about related things. Then he quickly started to take a shower. Chen Xia didn't have a custom-made suit, so he just continued to go for the fresh style. A white graphic shirt, a sky blue thin jacket, jeans, and a pair of white shoes. The total value of his clothes was no more than 2,000, but the effect was very good. If you are handsome, you don't need much good clothes to decorate. After taking care of his hair, Chen Xia looked at himself in the mirror and felt that even Peng Yuyan himself would not be his opponent. Afraid that the president could not find him, Chen Xia took the president's clothes and came to the last intersection in advance, standing under the bus stop waiting. At 9 o'clock, a silver Aston Martin roared close. The extreme sound waves of the V8 engine made people excited. The car stopped a few meters away, and the window was lowered. Get in the car. Tang Xuxia's outfit tonight was very cool. Black sunglasses, a black thin long windbreaker, a beige two-tone shirt, and a classic short skirt with black stockings on the lower body. This combination would look strange without a good face and a good figure. But for the president, while the temperament is highlighted, it is not sexy. Chen Xia got in the car. President, I have washed your clothes. What do you want to eat? Tang Xuxia drove and asked. Chen Xia put the clothes aside. All is fine, it depends on you. No, you must say one. Western food. You should be more accustomed to Western food. Western food is a good choice. A rich girl like Tang Xuxia must be more accustomed to Western food. I want to eat hot pot. Tang Xuxia said a little domineeringly. Chen Xia was stunned for a moment. So what's the point of asking me? Out of politeness. Soon, Aston Martin stopped at the door of a Jiangju hot pot restaurant. Jiangju hot pot is famous throughout the country. Can you eat spicy food? Tang Xuxia asked in the private room on the second floor. Chen Xia nodded, that's for sure. Tang Xuxia ordered some seafood and meat, a few vegetables. She doesn't eat coriander and garlic. Most importantly, she ordered a few bottles of beer. Chen Xia never drinks alcohol, she is a drunkard. Boss, do you want to drink more? Why? Can't drink. Tang Xuxia smiled. Men can't say no, especially in front of a beauty like Tang Xuxia. I can drink a little, not much. But who's driving? My driver is not here, I'll call him to drive later. Beer should be drinkable, right? Should, yes. Soon, the dishes came up one after another, and the two of them ate hot pot face to face. Passers-by, seeing the boss's peerless face and the pair of black silk long legs, basically saluted. Several brothers with girlfriends were almost beaten. Project summary: can it be completed tomorrow? While eating, the president suddenly said. Chen Xia nodded. I'll work overtime, it should be possible. No, if you can't finish it, just continue on Monday. The position of general manager is still vacant, do a good job. The president's words made Chen Xia a little excited. The prince is sick, you should encourage him, right? Thank you, President, I will. Chen Xia said, picking up a piece of tripe. I want it, you boil it again. The president pointed to his plate. Chen Xia suddenly felt like feeding, and picked up the boiled tripe and put it on the president's plate. The two ate and drank. Chen Xia drank a bottle of beer and started to blush. Tang Xuxia looked at her and laughed non-stop. It was the first time she blushed after seeing a bottle of beer. Like a big sister, she said Chen Xia was a little cute. How could Chen Xia bear such humiliation? He drank 2 more bottles with her and got completely drunk. Do you know what we're doing with your photo today? Tang Xuxia asked after finishing her 5th bottle of beer, looking a little tipsy. Chen Xia almost fell down, hesitating. Of course. I know, pretend to be my boyfriend, dream, good dream. Dream. So do you think you're dreaming? Tang Xuxia asked, holding her chin with her jade hand. It's not a dream, it's better than a dream. Hee, do you hope this dream will come true? Tang Xuxia asked jokingly. Want to tease this big boy? No. Chen Xia suddenly stood up and scared Tang Xuxia. But he fell down again immediately, completely losing the ability to communicate clearly. Tang Xuxia was about to pay the bill, and the waiter told her that Chen Xia had already paid when he went to the bathroom halfway. Tang Xuxia felt that this handsome guy was getting cuter. Approaching Chen Xia, Tang Xuxia seemed to hear him whispering. Getting closer, she finally heard clearly. I don't want to be a fake boyfriend, I want to be a real one. Really? Tang Xuxia was slightly surprised, then smiled. Chapter 9, Scores, even when lying down. Tang Xuxia took a taxi and took Chen Xia back to their villa in Hongshu district. Chen Xia had blacked out, and she didn't know the specific address of Chen Xia's home, so she had to bring him back first. The taxi driver helped move Chen Xia into the villa and put him in the living room. Even when he was drunk, Chen Xia was well behaved, like a child, curled up in the corner of the sofa. Tang Xuxia took off her long windbreaker, covered Chen Xia with it, and went into the bathroom to take a shower. Chen Xia had a dream. I dreamed that he asked for leave for the first time. The content of the leave application was, Dear readers, thank you for reading, today is a special day, let me ask for leave from everyone. Because I will enter the marriage hall with the person I love most, readers in Yuhan can come to Yinhu Hotel for a wedding banquet. Below the leave application, there were all congratulations, a happy marriage, and a baby soon. Many people also asked what the bride looked like and what her name was. Chen Xia looked at the comments and recalled the first time she met her at the high-speed railway station. Hee. Chen Xia giggled in her sleep. In the dream, all constraints will no longer exist, leaving only the purest beauty. Perhaps it is for this reason that so many people chase invisible phantoms endlessly. When Tang Xuxia came out of the shower, the sky outside had completely turned dark. She came to Chen Xia and looked at this big boy who was smiling and immersed in his sleep. She felt like teasing him. She stretched out her hand and pinched Chen Xia's handsome face. She felt that this was not enough, and she took out her lipstick and drew a lip print on Chen Xia's face. Will you be shocked when you wake up tomorrow? Tang Xuxia smiled and said to herself. Ding ding ding. At this time, Chen Xia's phone started to ring. Tang Xuxia took it out of her pocket and saw that someone named Li Yu had sent her messages continuously. She felt that the name Li Yu seemed a little familiar, maybe she had seen it somewhere. She didn't know the password, and Chen Xia didn't set up fingerprint unlocking, so Tang Xuxia couldn't unlock it and could only see the latest message. Brother, the audiobook is okay, just like normal books, using the profit-sharing model. The copyright for film and television adaptation has been negotiated well with 2 companies. Remember to update, don't stop. Tang Xuxia showed a look of approval. I didn't expect you to be so good, you're not just slacking off. For authors, audiobooks and film and television adaptations are not easy to reach. especially the latter, which requires their work to be very popular. Tang Xia put the phone back into Chen Xia's pocket and suddenly found a problem. How to get Chen Xia to the room on the second floor? You can't let him sleep on the sofa, right? The room on the first floor is where my parents live. Tang Xia tightened her bathrobe and tried to help Chen Xia up. I didn't expect Chen Xia to look thin, but he was actually quite heavy. Especially when he was unconscious, Tang Xia needed to hold him up. It was a bit difficult, but he could still move. It took Tang Xia most of her strength to get to the elevator door. Just as Tang Xia helped Chen Xia into the elevator, the Maybach S680 stopped outside the villa. The door slowly opened. Tang Xia was going to put Chen Xia in the room opposite the boudoir, which was quite a distance away from the elevator. I'll make you lose weight tomorrow, Tang Xia said angrily. The touch of his hand made him give up the idea again. Because Chen Xia was really thin, not to mention skin and bones, he seemed to have only some muscles but no fat. Tang Xia was afraid that he would lose weight if he asked him to lose weight. After moving for several minutes, Tang Xia finally got Chen Xia into the room. Coincidentally, the elevator just went up to the second floor when the two of them entered the room. In the room, Tang Xia turned on the light, helped Chen Xia to the bed, and put him on the bed. She was also exhausted, so she fell to the side to rest. Xia, you. The sudden voice scared Tang Xia so much that she jumped up. In a blink of an eye, her parents, who were supposed to return to the capital, appeared at the door. Tang Xia was shocked and quickly grabbed the quilt to cover Chen Xia's face. Xia, what is this? Tang Jin was more frightened than his daughter. Where did this kid come from? Where did he come from? Mom and Dad, why are you back? Go out and tell them, go out and tell them. Tang Xia got up quickly and tried to take her parents out. But Tang Jin wanted to kill this kid now. He took 2 steps forward and pulled open the quilt. When he saw Chen Xia sleeping soundly, Tang Jin was obviously stunned. Liu Yi also came over and saw the face of the boy on the bed. Just as she was about to laugh, she noticed the lip print on his face. Tang Jin's anger disappeared instantly, and he began to wonder. Is the boyfriend his daughter mentioned real? Xia, this. Liu Yi pointed at the lip print on Chen Xia's face. Tang Xia covered her forehead. Mom and Dad, if I say that I drew it with lipstick, will you believe it? Believe it? Old Tang, let's go out and tell him. Liu Yi smiled and pulled the quilt over Chen Xia, saying. The family returned to the living room. Is he your boyfriend? What's his name? Tang Jin had a stern face, because he felt that things would not be so simple. Liu Yi complained, Old Tang, don't be so stern. Xia, what's his name? How long have you known each other? Chen Xia, I've known him for 2 or 3 months. Tang Xia began to compile. 2 or 3 months. The couple were quite surprised. Tang Xia picked up the phone and shook it. I met him online. Online? What's he like? Liu Yi is on guard against people on the internet. Very good, ambitious, and very good to me. What family? What do your parents do? What does he do? Tang Jin threw out the fatal question. Tang Xia thought quickly and said, Didn't I tell you on the phone? His family has a wide range of businesses. He himself resigned from his position as CEO of his company when he heard that I came to Yuhang and came to my company as general manager. You didn't answer my question on the phone. You said his family has many companies. What are their names? I'll check. I don't know. You can ask him when he wakes up. Tang Xia looked calm on the surface, but she was actually a little flustered inside. Old Tang, family background is not that important. It's enough if the education and character are good. It doesn't matter if the child's family is average. We can just take care of him. The most important thing is that my daughter likes him and treats him well. Don't you think so? Liu Yi's mentality is the opposite of many rich wives. She thinks the most important thing about a son-in-law is his character. As for wealth, to be realistic, as long as the son-in-law is not a prodigal, the Tang family assets are enough for the daughter and son-in-law to spend. Is it that simple? The gap between different classes is not only wealth, but also vision and ability. Xia, you have to understand that if a country boy can take good care of you, then the young man I introduce to you can do better than him. I will ask him in person tomorrow. Tang Jin still didn't quite believe his daughter's words. After that, he went to the study. Xia, it's okay. Mom supports you. As long as the boy treats you well and has good character, Mom agrees. Wait for me. Liu Yi walked to the room on the first floor, and soon came with a bulging red envelope. Give this to him tomorrow. It's his first time at our house, and we didn't treat him well. Thank you, Mom, but he may not accept it. He's very sensible. Tang Xia is in a complicated mood now. She has to talk to Chen Xia and pretend. One thing for another, you have to leave a good impression on him. Take it. You should be nice to him. If possible, talk to him about marriage and see what he thinks. Okay. Chapter 10 Playing the Boyfriend. In the room on the second floor, Chen Xia reached out his hand in a daze, groping for something. After feeling around the bed and not finding anything, he reached into his pocket and took out his phone. Facing strong fatigue and headache, Chen Xia opened one eye with difficulty. While his consciousness was still a little fuzzy, he operated and murmured, "Update. Update." Chen Xia was like a robot whose battery was about to run out. He just posted today's 3 chapters before he completely crashed and continued to fall asleep. In terms of the amount of updates, Chen Xia may not be as good as those tentacle monsters. But in terms of continuous updates, Chen Xia can pat his chest and guarantee that he will definitely live up to the readers. In the study room on the 3rd floor, Tang Jin's phone sent a reminder. Open it and see that the novel has been updated. Tang Jin put down the paper book in his hand, opened the foreign tomato and started reading. Although he is the chairman of a listed company, Tang Jin also has hobbies. Reading online novels is one of his favorites. People are not the same. He would only accompany his partners to those entertainments that rich people like to spend money on. He was not interested in other situations. Click to continue reading. Tang Jin began to read. The face of Or gradually showed a smile. After reading the 3 chapters quickly, Tang Jin clicked to send a gift again. After sending the gift, Tang Jin left a message in the last chapter. Where is the author from? It's well written. Don't stop writing. Let's have a meal together and make friends. Perhaps because the heroine in the book looks like his daughter, Tang Jin admires the author behind it. Putting down his phone, Tang Jin left the study to rest. At the same time, on the 2nd floor, Tang Xia tiptoed into the room where Chen Xia was. Getting close to the sleeping Chen Xia. Chen Xia sleeps very honestly, does not move around, and does not snore. Quietly. Chen Xia, wake up. Tang Xia shook Chen Xia. Maybe the alcohol hadn't completely worn off yet. Chen Xia mumbled something, but couldn't wake up. Tang Xia had a headache, and she had to let Chen Xia go early. If she delayed it until tomorrow, her father would definitely notice something. After thinking for a while, Tang Xia leaned over and covered Chen Xia's mouth and nose. Chen Xia, who was originally dreaming, suddenly had a big boss in his dream, gently waved his hand, and a powerful force strangled his neck. Seeing that he was about to die, Chen Xia struggled desperately. I only felt his hands fighting against something soft, and the big boss suddenly disappeared. R-tilde. Chen Xia sat up and stretched. Turning his head, next to him was the president, who was a little embarrassed and angry. Chen Xia immediately woke up and looked around quickly. President, where am I? My home. Tang Xia held her hands on her chest, and for some reason, her face was a little shy. Your home. Chen Xia jumped off the bed quickly. Sorry, President, I have blacked out and don't know anything. It's okay, I'll take a taxi to take you back, follow me. Tang Xia quickly adjusted and walked out first. Chen Xia took the phone and followed the president out of the villa. Come to my office tomorrow, I have something to talk to you about. Tang Xia sent Chen Xia to Didi and said. Chen Xia nodded, okay. Good night, President. Tang Xia nodded, good night, Master, drive slowly. Hearing this, the master stepped on the floor and rushed out. There is a bit of rebellion in him. On their way later, Chen Xia found out the reason. The driver's wife cheated on him and just divorced today. Chen Xia said that he understood his brother's feelings and it was better to be rebellious. The next morning, in the villa. Leaving so early. Tang Jin was like punching cotton. He wanted to expose his daughter's childish scam in one fell swoop, but Chen Xia ran away. He couldn't confront her face to face, and he couldn't do anything with his daughter. Xiao Xia is quite diligent. She got up so early. Old Tang, don't you have things to do at the company? Go back first. Liu Yi is very good at finding advantages. Tang Zhen's expression became firm. It doesn't matter. I won't go back for the time being. Tang Xuxia coughed dryly. Dad, there is no trivial matter in the company. You go back, and my mom stays here. Tang Zhen looked at his wife and shook his head. No, it won't be a problem for me to stay a few more days. Tang Xuxia was helpless and got on the Maybach to the company. In room 603 of Jinxiu community, Chen Xia had just gotten up and was about to wash up. Looking up. Huh? R. There was a deep red lip print on Chen Xia's face. The brain was running fast, thinking carefully. Suddenly, Chen Xia had a bold idea. Could this be the president? Chen Xia felt her heart start beating faster, and her gigolo career had hope again. Washing up quickly, Chen Xia hummed a song while going to work. The wind on the road was sweet. Arriving at the company, Chen Xia first went to her workstation to clean up for a while, and when she felt it was almost done, she took the documents to the president's office. Dong. Come in. Chen Xia entered and closed the door with her backhand. Seeing that it was Chen Xia, Tang Xuxia typed and said, "Sit down first, wait for me." Chen Xia sat on the sofa, a little excited. What would the president say? Would the gigolo career not go further today? Soon, the president came over. Continue. Continue what? Chen Xia was confused. Project summary. Tang Xuxia pointed to the desk and said. Chen Xia was dumbfounded. Just talking about this. There was no other way. Chen Xia could only continue to work as a laborer, sitting at the desk and starting to work. The female president leaned leisurely on the sofa, took out her phone and looked at something, smiling from time to time. This state lasted for a while, and the female president looked at the phone and suddenly asked. You don't have a girlfriend, right? Chen Xia turned sideways. Me. Are there others besides you? The president smiled, not knowing whether it was because of the content on the phone or Chen Xia's reaction. No. Chen Xia sat back and said. Open the first drawer on your left. Chen Xia did as he was told and opened the drawer. The first thing he saw was a bulging red envelope, and there were several stockings inside. President, there is a red envelope, and there are silk. Take the red envelope, my mother gave it to you. Chen Xia was quite surprised. There is such a good thing. But Chen Xia did not accept it. Thank you, and thank you auntie, but I didn't do anything, so I can't take it. Tang Xuxia smiled, and Chen Xia's reaction was exactly what she guessed. It's hard for me if you don't take it, so just take it if I tell you to. Chen Xia suddenly felt the table shaking a little, as if it was an illusion. Okay. When Chen Xia reached out to take the red envelope, she felt something was wrong. President, don't you want to discuss something with me? Just give me a red envelope. It's easier to get things done with a red envelope. Tang Xuxia's words gave Chen Xia a premonition that something was wrong. What do you mean? In the next month, you play my boyfriend and deal with my parents. Can you do it? Chapter 11 Transformation. Although she had a premonition, at this moment, Chen Xia still felt her heart beating in her throat. A beautiful, rich, and well-built female president told you to be her boyfriend. No one would be able to remain calm, right? Although it was a fake boyfriend, who could guarantee that the president's mind would not change in a month? Is it not possible? Tang Xuxia looked at Chen Xia, with a look in her eyes that said she would not leave today unless she agreed. Chen Xia nodded quickly. Yes, but your parents. The president stood up and came to Chen Xia. So I said I would discuss it with you. What? My family has several companies. The family assets are more than 1 billion. If you were not me, I would not know that my family is so powerful. Chen Xia was surprised to hear the president's words. Tang Xuxia folded her hands and leaned on the table. I thought of it temporarily, and it is definitely not rigorous. Now we must let my parents believe that you have a good family background, especially my father. Let's deal with it first. I will listen to you. Chen Xia said while typing. Don't do it, follow me. Where to go? Take you to reform. Tang Xuxia took 2 steps with her long legs, and suddenly there was a noise outside. You're here again. Our president said that we can't let you in again. Go away. Chen Xia still remembered this voice. Wasn't it the rich second generation from yesterday? Tang Xuxia suddenly thought of something, turned back quickly, looked around quickly, and in a hurry, stuffed Chen Xia under the desk. She sat on the office chair herself. Chen Xia, eh? The next second, the office door opened with a click. Chu Yuxuan rushed in aggressively. Xu Xia, why did you lie to your uncle and aunt? Where is that kid named Chen Xia? Brother Yuxuan, what do you want me to say so that you will believe it? I really don't have that kind of emotion for you. Do you take me seriously when you come to the company to make trouble like this? Have you ever thought about what my employees will think? Tang Shuxia questioned. Chu Yuxuan felt that he was right, and spread his hands and said, Xu Xia, I really don't understand why. We are not siblings, why can't we be together? I told you, I always treat you as a brother. If you still treat me as a friend, please leave now. Tang Shuxia's eyes turned red. Chen Xia was about to rush out to declare her sovereignty, but was covered by the president. What's that sound? Chu Yuxuan suddenly became alert. You heard it wrong, leave now, I still treat you as a friend. Tang Shuxia lowered her head. Chu Yuxuan lowered his head, but soon said fiercely, okay, if you treat me as a brother, then I will never ignore your lifelong event. I will find the one called Chen Xia. After that, he left quickly. Tilde. Tang Shuxia breathed a sigh of relief and let go of Chen Xia. As soon as he lowered his head, his face changed slightly. Eyes. Don't want them anymore. Can you get up first? I can't get out. Chen Xia is innocent, can you push me in? Tang Shuxia stood up. Chen Xia stood up. You've seen it too, pretending to be my boyfriend is risky. How about this, I'll give you 3 million after dealing with my parents. Tang Shuxia said. Chen Xia nodded thoughtfully. Go get ready, and wait for me at the company gate in half an hour. Tang Shuxia walked to the French window to see if Chu Yuxuan had left. Chen Xia agreed and left the office. Half an hour later, Chen Xia got into the president's car downstairs of the company. The first step of the transformation is to get a hairstyle. Tang Shuxia took Chen Xia to a high-end barber shop in the city center. Call the manager to do Chen Xia's hairstyle. Chen Xia had never exposed her forehead before, but today, at the request of the president, she cut and permed her hair and got a 3/7 half-back hair. How should I put it? Chen Xia felt that he had a more elegant look in his handsomeness. Before he cut his hair, Chen Xia noticed that the two girls who were perming their hair not far away looked at him from time to time. Just after they finished, the two came over. Handsome guy, can I add you to the green bubble? The two girls were not bad looking, at least they were above average. Their makeup skills were very good, and with it, they both looked very beautiful. Chen Xia glanced at the president sitting behind him, who was holding his hands and said nothing. The two were pretending to be boyfriend and girlfriend, and if Chen Xia really wanted to add them, she couldn't say anything. Thank you, sorry, I have a girlfriend. Chen Xia pointed to the president behind him and smiled. The two girls used smiles to hide their embarrassment. Sorry, I bothered you. When they walked out of the barber shop, the president was quite arrogant and said lightly, good performance. Are there any rewards? Do you want durian? No, I can't eat that stuff. Leave it for you to kneel. Chen Xia. The second step of transformation is clothes. The president took Chen Xia to try and buy all kinds of things, and even took Chen Xia to customize formal clothes. The clothes they bought were basically luxury brands, which made Chen Xia embarrassed. President, just buy a little, I'll pay. You are now my nominal boyfriend, and you have to deceive my parents, these are the most basic. In addition, from now on, change your words, don't call me president, just call me by my name. Okay, president. Tang Shuxia's eyes were like torches. Shuxia, I'm just kidding you. Chen Xia laughed quickly. The third step of transformation is behavior. Hand, bend it. Tang Shuxia said to Chen Xia in the corridor of the mall. Chen Xia bent her hand, and the president took it. We are boyfriend and girlfriend, and there should be some necessary physical contact, such as holding hands. Get used to it as soon as possible, and don't let my parents find out. Tang Shuxia took Chen Xia's arm and started shopping in the mall. Chen Xia was a little obsessed. Fragrant, soft. Did you hear that? Tang Shuxia said coquettishly. Chen Xia nodded quickly, I heard it, but always. Shuxia, tell your uncle and aunt that my family has assets of more than 1 billion, how can you make up for this lie? They won't be in Yuhang for too long. During this period, I will try to limit the number of times you meet to 2 times. What you need to do is, no matter how my father asks, don't reveal any news about the company, just insist that your family has so many assets. Tang Xia is also taking one step at a time now. Chen Xia suddenly felt a great deal of pressure, but looking at the beautiful CEO who was sticking to her, she still strengthened her confidence and said, I'll do it. By the way, Xia, most couples will kiss each other. What if your parents ask us to kiss each other? Do you want to practice first? In order to avoid revealing flaws. Chen Xia looked serious. Tang Xia glared at Chen Xia. What's the point of kissing? How about I take you to play something exciting? Is this okay? Chen Xia smiled. Okay. It can also strengthen your body. Tang Xia took out her mobile phone and prepared to make a call. Chen Xia saw the note was bodyguard and hurriedly said, Xia, why are you calling the bodyguard? Let them take you to boxing. It's okay. They will show mercy. At most, they will keep you out of bed for a month. Is it exciting enough? Wrong, Xia, don't bother them. Chen Xia was sweating profusely. Chapter 12 User 000956 and Dominance. Be more confident, imagine that your family really has billions of assets. Remind yourself at all times to be polite to everyone. At the entrance of the mall, Tang Xia helped Chen Xia tidy up her clothes and said. Chen Xia nodded seriously, okay, I'll pay attention. At this time, a McLaren GT with a small grass god on it drove over and stopped a few meters away from the two. A young man in a suit got out of the car and ran to the two. Miss Tang, the car you want has just been serviced. It's in good condition and full of oil. The other party handed over the key. Well, thank you for the trouble. Give him the key. Tang Xia pointed at Chen Xia. The other party handed the key to Chen Xia and smiled, Miss Tang, you are polite. After that, he slowly left. Chen Xia looked at the gorgeous McLaren, then looked at Xia, and didn't know what to say. This is my best friend's car. I don't have many acquaintances in Yuhang City, so I can only borrow it from her for emergency. It's a bit fancy, but fortunately my dad has never seen this car and can't recognize it. You can drive it at will. Chen Xia suddenly realized a fact, his gigolo career seemed to have succeeded. Xia, thank you. Chen Xia thanked. Tang Xia smiled, it seems that you listened to what I just said, keep it up. Don't feel pressured, we are in a cooperative relationship. Chen Xia blinked, just a cooperative relationship. It's okay, it will definitely change in a month. I have to go back, drive back by yourself. Be safe, I didn't say the car, I said it to you. Tang Xia was afraid that Chen Xia would misunderstand, so she deliberately explained it. She really was, Chen Xia was almost crying, sometimes she was so tender. Looking at her back as she left in a chic manner, Chen Xia clenched his fists. A few minutes later, the McLaren started. Jinqiu Community 603, today my parents rarely go home early. Chen Xia's family is a typical working-class family. Dad works at the Water and Electricity Bureau, earning 6,700 yuan a month. Mom has a small nail salon, and every day she is either in the store or playing mahjong. Fortunately, they don't play big games, so even if they lose, they can only lose 1,800 yuan a night. Xia is back? Let's eat soon. Chen Xia put her things back in the room and ran to the kitchen to help. Chen Xia used to cook, but today Mom had a whim. Soon, the family sat together for dinner. Seeing that Chen Xia had changed his hairstyle, both of them said he looked very handsome. Xia, try my cooking. Mom smiled. Chen Xia and Dad looked at each other, and under Mom's strong pressure, they could only pick up a piece of fish and taste it. Ahem. Chen Xia's face almost turned green. Mom, how much MSG did you put in? Hey, I put too much, doesn't it taste good? Mom tasted a piece herself, and the next second, she changed the position of the fish and put it in front of Dad. Old Chen, don't you love fish the most? Eat it quickly. Chen Xia cast a sympathetic look at Dad. While eating, Mom suddenly talked about Chen Xia's plan. Xia, you are not young this year, have you considered finding a girlfriend? Dad nodded, it's time to think about it. Chen Xia felt his scalp tingling, young people can't escape it, right? Mom and Dad, don't worry about this, I will pay attention to it. Chen Xia comforted the two elders. Your Aunt Tang said that she has a friend whose family has a 23-year-old daughter who also graduated from Yuhang University and works in a state-owned enterprise. She is not bad looking. How about I talk to your aunt and arrange a meeting and dinner for you? Mom came prepared. When the father heard the word state-owned enterprise, his eyes lit up. This is a good girl, son, you can meet her and see how she does it. No, I will find one myself, you can rest assured. For some reason, Chen Xia's mind kept flashing the name of the president. Hey, kid, you keep talking nonsense. Others don't know, but we don't know. You don't go out and stay at home every day, how can you meet girls? I'd better help you find some. Really, no, Mom, within this year, I will bring you a girlfriend, okay? Chen Xia promised. The two elders looked at each other. It's a deal. After dinner, Chen Xia returned to the room. Take out his mobile phone, he suddenly thought of something and entered the green bubble. Find the beauty who added him before. I am a person with a girlfriend now, bye. Chen Xia blocked and deleted her. Then check today's novel dater. You don't know until you see it, you will be shocked. Yesterday, the number of readers was more than 700,000, and today, it soared to 1.2 million. This increase may have broken the record of Yanxizi. Today's income has reached more than 35,000. According to the calculation of 1.6 yuan per 100 people, even if there are 1.2 million new readers, the income is only 19,000. The extra gifts are the gifts from readers. Among them, 2 readers are the most outstanding. One is user 000965, who gave 5,000 and ranked second among many readers. The first is a big guy named Juduan Wangu, who gave more than 10,000 in one day. Chen Xia was shocked. This is not a few hundred or a few thousand, the unit here is 10,000. Chen Xia opened Yanxizi reading, found his own book, and prepared to pay attention to these 2 big guys, and consider giving them more chapters later. Just saw the message from the big guy Juduan Wangu. Where is the author from? It's well written. Don't stop updating and let it end badly. Let's have a meal together and make friends if we have a chance. Chen Xia's first reaction was to be cautious, fearing that he would be killed offline. But then he thought, he wrote a sweet story. It's not a sad story, what's there to be afraid of? Also, he didn't ask whether it was a man or a woman, and it was obvious that he really wanted to make friends with this person. Chen Xia clicked into Juduan Wangu's homepage and clicked on the private message. Thank you for your support. I'm from Yuhang. If you come to Yuhang, you can tell me and I'll treat you to a meal. The other party didn't reply. Maybe he didn't look at his phone or didn't open Yanxizi to read. Chen Xia turned back and sent a private message to user 000956 to express his gratitude. I didn't expect that this time, the other party would reply in seconds. A little support, I hope you will write better and better. I have a few questions, can I ask? Chen Xia quickly replied. Of course. The heroine in your book is a female CEO. Did you adapt it based on reality? No, but I was lucky and encountered a similar situation as the hero. Unfortunately, I'm not as lucky as the hero. Oh? Can you share it with me? Chen Xia thought for a moment. Yes, actually I have met a female CEO in real life, and the relationship between her and me is very subtle now. What, this, how subtle? The other party seemed very surprised. She seems to be urged to get married, and asked me to pretend to be her boyfriend. After sending this message, the other party replied after a while. This, what do you think? Do you like her? Of course I like her, but because of the big difference in background, I am lucky to be her fake boyfriend. Have you ever thought about making the fake play real? It was Chen Xia's turn to pause. To be honest, not only did I think about it, I think about it all the time. But the gap between her and me is really big, and she often shows me the iceberg side. Have you ever thought that maybe she doesn't care about these? Who knows if her coldness is just pretending to be reserved? If you take the initiative, she might fall for you, such as taking the initiative to hold her hand. After all, you are now boyfriend and girlfriend. How dare I do that without her consent? Maybe she will just find someone else to pretend to be her boyfriend. Have her parents met you? I went to her house and heard her say that her parents went home that night. I don't know if they met you. Then it is likely that they have met you. Her parents have met you. What are you afraid of? Be bolder and take the initiative. How do you know if you don't try? You said family background issues, but you are also very successful now. The book you wrote is so popular. You don't need to care too much about these issues. It seems to be true. Thank you. I will be braver. Let me call you an emotional master. Har har, I don't deserve it. At this time, in the villa in Hongshu district. Xia, why is your face red? Tang Xia quickly turned off her mobile phone. Liu Yi walked to her daughter and touched her delicate face. It's still so hot. Is it a fever? No, Mom, it may be a little hot, I'll be fine if I drink more water. Liu Yi touched her daughter's forehead again. It was not hot. Well, if you feel uncomfortable, you must not bear it, understand? I know. Watching her mother leave, Tang Xia quickly opened her mobile phone and saw the message from the other party. I have something to do, let's talk later. Okay. Tang Xia replied. Then she kept fanning with her hands, her chest heaving. It turned out to be him. This little guy. On Chen Xia's side, Juduan Wangu replied. Yuhang? I happen to be in Yuhang for business these 2 days, let's find a time to have dinner together. Okay, tell me when it's convenient for you, I can be anytime. I have something to deal with tomorrow, the day after tomorrow night. Wanghu Restaurant. Okay. After Chen Xia made the agreement, he exited the private message. Opened the writer assistant of Yingxizi and started typing. Chapter 13: The Reversal of the Black-Bellied Brother. The next day, Saturday, Chen Xia decided not to go out and concentrate on typing. Recently, the new book has been very popular, and the editor suggested that he could update a few more chapters. This time, the popularity is largely due to the bloggers who tweeted in the short video. They took Chen Xia's article to make a tweet video and it became popular, and many people came after hearing the news. Just as I started typing, a message came in on my phone. It was a friend request, and the other party noted, I am Xia's brother. Chen Xia picked up the phone and made sure he was not mistaken. The president has a brother. Chen Xia thought of the rich second generation, could it be him? Clicked into the other party's circle of friends, but could not see it due to permission restrictions. Chen Xia clicked to agree to see what the other party had to say. Are you Chen Xia? The other party sent a message soon. It's me, what's the matter? Chen Xia is not sure whether he is the president's brother now, and he is not playing tricks. I am Xia's brother. I heard that you have been very close to my sister recently. I want to talk to you. The location is immediately below the information, which is a coffee shop. Chen Xia hesitated a little. What if the other party is that rich second generation? Will there be an ambush? What if he really goes there and dozens of strong men jump out and tie him up? Chen Xia wanted to contact the president to ask, but then he found that he didn't seem to have the president's contact information. Forgot to add one. Go or not? If I don't go, if it's really the president's brother, he might have a bad impression of Chen Xia. If he obstructs it, Chen Xia's idea of pretending to be real will be much more difficult. I'm afraid of nothing. Chen Xia turned off the computer, ran to the bathroom to clean up, and took his mobile phone out. For the president, there must be an ambush. Chen Xia didn't believe that in a society ruled by law, he could still turn the world upside down. The McLaren started and rushed to Huayun Business District. 15 minutes later, Chen Xia arrived at his destination. Parked the car and walked towards the coffee shop. The coffee shop is decorated in warm colors, which makes a good first impression. The soothing music and the soft sunshine make you energetic all day long when you drink a cup of coffee here. There are not many people inside, just a few people. Chen Xia noticed a guy in a white suit at the back. He turned around and was about to leave. Suddenly, more than a dozen people jumped out from the door and blocked Chen Xia. No. Is there really a strong man? Chen Xia could only walk inside and sit down in front of Chu Yuxuan and record the video quietly with his phone. Would you like a cup of coffee? The other party asked, looking at the book and pretending to be a big boss. Chen Xia got straight to the point, what do you want to say? Readers are still waiting for Chen Xia to update, and he doesn't want to waste time. I have investigated you. You are a native of Yuhang, graduated from Yuhang University, and have a monthly salary of 4,000. Your father works in the Water Conservancy Bureau, and your mother runs a small business. Am I right? Chu Yuxuan didn't even look at Chen Xia when he spoke, and his eyes were always on the book in his hand. Chen Xia didn't come here for a blind date, so there was no need to talk about these things. If you asked me to come here to chat, I think I'd better leave first. I'll give you 3 times the benefits that Xu Xia gave you. Chu Yuxuan finally raised his proud head and looked at Chen Xia. What benefits? I don't know what you are talking about. Chen Xia calmly pretended to be stupid. Chu Yuxuan closed the book. You should know in your heart that there is a big gap between you and her. Anyone with a little bit of brains can see that your so-called boyfriend-girlfriend relationship is just Xu Xia's childish cooperation to deal with others. Chu Yuxuan's words hit the mark. He had many channels to get information about the relationship between Chen Xia and Xu Xia. Xu Xia should have promised to give you benefits, right? It doesn't matter, I can give you 3 times, don't delay her. Chen Xia understood, and Chu Yuxuan saw that Xu Xia couldn't be conquered, so he began to shift his target to him. You are so generous, but you should keep it for yourself. We know whether Xu Xia and I are acting or not, and we don't need others to interfere. Chu Yuxuan was unwilling to give up and continued, I admire your courage, but have you ever thought about it? Even if you are really with her, what can you give her when you have nothing? Do you want her, a daughter, to live with you in a house of less than 100 square meters in the old community, or marry into your family? How can you be sure that your investigation is absolutely accurate? Chen Xia leaned back in the chair, looking confident. Chu Yuxuan glanced out, and he noticed the car Chen Xia was driving just now. That car? I don't think it's yours. I'm not talking about the car. Chen Xia still looked confident, which made Chu Yuxuan a little unconfident. Was there really an omission? Xu Xia has told you many times that when it comes to relationships, she values suitability more. What she means by suitability is not wealth equality, but feelings and emotional value. I may not be as rich as you, but I am confident in taking care of people. Chen Xia saw that the other party's attitude was relatively gentle and did not really take action, so he put away his sharpness in his words. Har har, what a confident person. Chu Yuxuan stood up, and a dozen strong men outside the door received the signal, ran into the coffee shop, and surrounded Chen Xia. The atmosphere instantly became tense. All the customers drinking coffee around him left. Chen Xia put his hand under the table, turned on his mobile phone, and prepared to call the police. At this time, Chu Yuxuan suddenly took out a card and threw it on the table. Chen Xia looked closely and saw that it was a CCB bank card. I understand. This guy wants to coerce and lure Chen Xia to accept his benefits and take the initiative to withdraw. Chen Xia really wants to laugh. Even if he really gets beaten today, he can't give up the CEO. Before I went to Spain, Xu Xia gave me 2 million. Now I want to double it back to her, but she doesn't want it. You help me spend it on her. They are my comprehensive team in Yuhang City, with bodyguards, financial managers, and they will keep an eye on you. If you have anything to do, you can also let them do it. I have 2 hours to go back to Spain. I don't care if you are acting or not. Don't let me know that Xu Xia has made a mistake. Chen Xia was stunned. What the hell? This. You are not wearing glasses either. Are you playing a contrast? You regarded Chen Xia as a thorn in your side the previous second, and now you suddenly do this? Not only giving money, but also a professional team. Chen Xia was beaten and stunned. Are you serious? Chen Xia couldn't believe it. Chu Yuxuan smiled, I warn you, if you are just acting, then do your job well and don't have any unreasonable thoughts. If it's not acting. Chu Yuxuan's smile gradually calmed down, and he was a little serious. Again, if it's not acting, I hope Xu Xia didn't make a mistake. Chen Xia heard the taste of relief in this sentence. Is it really relieved? Chen Xia couldn't believe it. Are they rich people so easy to let go? Xu Xia has treated me as a brother since she was a child. I treated this feeling wrongly before. Some things are like this. Suddenly, other choices appear. No more talking. Remember what I said, otherwise I promise you will regret it. Chu Yuxuan seemed to be really relieved. After saying that, he walked out of the coffee shop. Thank you. Thank you. Chen Xia didn't know why, but suddenly wanted to thank him. Chu Yuxuan didn't look back and waved his hand. Chen Xia felt unreal now. He picked up the bank card on the table with the password on it. Just as he was about to get up, the professional team around him suddenly pressed Chen Xia on the chair. What are you doing? Chen Xia was shocked. An S-shaped beauty brought a cup of strong coffee. Mr. Chen, the young master said that he will let you finish this cup of coffee before letting you go. Chen Xia looked at the strong coffee in front of him. He knew it must be bitter without drinking it. Looking outside the store, Chu Yuxuan smiled and turned away. Good guy, you are a bit black-bellied. Chapter 14 Emotional Master Chen Liao. At the entrance of a nearby supermarket, Chen Xia drank mineral water voraciously. Strong coffee is really bitter. Not only is it bitter, it also makes your throat hurt. Chen Xia took another sip of water and looked at the bank card in his hand. You don't play by the rules. Chen Xia really didn't expect Chu Yuxuan to change so quickly. According to past experience, he would have to fight with himself for hundreds of rounds, right? Now that he has suddenly let go and quit, he can no longer deal with Chen Xia. Wait, is this a trick? Chen Xia was a little worried. Chu Yuxuan gave him $4 million. Was he trying to frame him? For example, suing Chen Xia for extortion, theft, etc. There's a recording, there's nothing to be afraid of. Chen Xia recorded the speech in advance so he was not afraid of the other party biting back. And looking at Chu Yuxuan's condition, it doesn't seem like he is acting. In fact, it is very easy for a rich and handsome guy like Chu Yuxuan to find a girlfriend. People in this class are either pure and loyal, or remain unchanged at heart despite changes in their lives. Or you can walk through a forest of flowers and pick a petal from each one. Chu Yuxuan may have his own pursuits and ideas, and is no longer trapped in a cage with only one exit. After thinking for a while, Chen Xia drank the last bit of water and got in the car to go home. Jinshu Community 603. As soon as Chen Xia returned home, he received a message from user 0000956. How is your relationship with the president going? Chen Xia lay on the sofa and typed a reply. Today is Saturday, I don't have to go to work, and I haven't seen the president yet. So you just stayed at home? Yes, I want to write. Hey, you can write at night. Weekends are a good opportunity, you can go on a date with the CEO. You two are boyfriend and girlfriend now. Chen Xia felt that the other party was more anxious than himself. I just want to update a few more chapters for you. And I don't know what to do with the president. The president may not like regular dates like watching movies or going to an amusement park. Who said that? How do you know if you don't try? As long as you put your heart into it, ordinary activities can become special. Oh? Master, please enlighten me. Chen Xia sat up. For example, when it comes to watching movies, you can take her to a horror movie and give her a hug that makes her feel safe at the high energy moment. You can also take her to an arcade and discuss with the boss in advance to organize a special prize event to leave a deep impression on her. And it's not the activities that are ordinary, it's the people who don't prepare, do you understand? Chen Xia agreed very much and replied. As expected of you, you are master of emotions. I am grateful for your teaching. May I ask what your name is? My name is Chen Liao. Are you a girl? Thank you, Sister Liao, for your advice. You're welcome, please go find your girlfriend for a date. Okay, Sister Liao, if you have time to come to Yuhang, I will treat you to a meal. The other party did not reply, so Chen Xia exited Yanshizi reading and clicked on the green bubble. Only then did he remember that he didn't have the president's green bubble. But it didn't pose a problem for him, so he directly called the professional team sent by Chu Yuxuan. Mr. Chen, what do you want? You have been serving Master Chu before, so you should know Tang Shuxia's contact information, right? Yes, we have Miss Tang's number. Master Chu has told us that we can provide it to you if you need it. Hurry, hurry, hurry. 18898666628. Chen Xia memoized the number and called the president. After waiting for a while, the president finally answered. There was a sound of water coming from the phone. What's up? The president's cold voice. Shuxia, today is Saturday, what do you have to do? I want to go out for a walk with you. Something's going on. Forget it then. The other party didn't say anything. After a few seconds, he said, I've turned it down. Come pick me up. Then he hung up the phone. Yes. Chen Xia encouraged herself, it seemed that the president was still willing to go on a date. After taking a shower and changing clothes, Chen Xia rushed to the city center, arranged things first, and then rushed to his wife's house to pick her up. Tang Xuxia was wearing a silver suspender dress today, her shoulders were white and plump, her chest was firm and her cleavage was seductive. A silver necklace hangs from it. The long legs are as white as cream, straight and slender. Noble and extremely attractive at the same time, perfect like a lotus in a pond. Does it look good? It looks good. Why don't you go home and watch enough? This isn't good, is it? Then why don't you leave? Following Chen Xia's suggestion, Chen Xia took the president to the video game arcade first. As soon as he entered the door, the boss exchanged glances with Chen Xia. Do you come here often? It looks like kids might like it more. The president looked at the surrounding layout and said. Chen Xia quickly said, it's very interesting, you can try it. The two exchanged some coins and came to the claw machine. There are 3 kinds of dolls in it, a bunny, a bear and a hippo, as well as a surprise blind box. Xuxia, try it. Use this joystick to control the grappling hook above, move it to the object you want, and press the button to grab it. Tang Xuxia looked at Chen Xia's expectant eyes and tried it. Move the hook to the top of the bunny and grab it down. Successfully caught one. Catching the doll does not mean that everything is fine. Many times the hook is loose and it will come off when moving towards the drop point. But the grappling hook in Tang Xuxia's hand fully demonstrated what tight means. Holding the little rabbit firmly, he successfully moved to the drop hole. Beautiful. Xuxia, I didn't expect you to be so amazing. Chen Xia praised. Tang Xuxia picked up the little rabbit and raised the corners of her mouth. You try it. Chen Xia took the joystick and pointed directly at the surprise blind box. As expected, Chen Xia did not fail. The boss showed up just in time. Congratulations to both of you for winning a surprise blind box. I'll help you check it out. The boss took out the blind box and opened it. You two are so lucky to have won our ultimate challenge. As long as you complete the challenge, you will get a super big prize. Do you want to take the challenge? Okay. What's the challenge? Chen Xia asked quickly. The boss was beaming with joy, pointing to the acupressure board beside him and saying, it's very simple. You two just need to follow the rules, pass the acupressure board, and eat the hanging biscuits to pass. The boss took the two to the acupressure mat and explained the rules. There must be at least 2 challengers, and only one person can touch the ground. Move together to the bottom of the biscuit. The other person cannot use his hands, so he has to pass the biscuit to the person on the ground and he will pass the level if he eats it. Chen Xia quickly observed the president's expression. She was not angry. Xuxia, challenge. Since you got it, let's give it a try. Have you figured out how to pass it? Tang Xuxia doesn't seem to dislike this game. Chen Xia smiled and said, I'll leave the important task of catching the cookies to you. I'll be responsible for holding you. Tang Xuxia suddenly turned around and looked at him, and Chen Xia felt a little nervous. Can you do it? Fortunately, she was not angry. A man can't say no. Chen Xia suddenly remembered what Sister Liao said, that he should be bolder. He walked straight up to her and picked her up like a princess, as the president looked a little surprised and shy. Very good. The challenge begins, hold on, as long as you can eat the cookies. The boss next to him quickly provided cover. Chen Xia bathed in the softness and fragrance, and stepped on the acupressure mat to come under the biscuits. Due to rules, the president cannot use his hands and can only bite with his mouth. But the boss hung the cookies at a very delicate height, and the president had to put his hands around Chen Xia's neck and push upwards to bite them. Chen Xia felt his heart beating faster instantly. It was the first time he had such close contact with the president. Tang Xuxia's face was slightly red at this moment. She hugged Chen Xia's neck, raised her head slightly and bit the biscuit. He lowered his head and handed it to Chen Xia. For a moment, their eyes met. Within such a short distance, a wonderful feeling flowed in the hearts of the two. Eat quickly, the president said shyly while biting a biscuit. Chen Xia quickly bit into the biscuit. Bang, bang, bang. The boss pulled open the ribbon salute in his hand and laughed, congratulations. You two have won our store's ultimate prize, a one-day island tour ticket for 2. And a large doll. Chapter 15 Awkward Incident on Date. A day trip to the island. Chen Xia did not arrange this reward, it should have been added by the boss. That is quite right. Next up is watching a movie. Chen Xia followed Sister Liao's advice and chose a horror movie from a host of romantic action movies. The vengeful spirit, the name sounds scary. I thought you were going to watch some boring art film. The president's lips curled up slightly, and he was very satisfied with Chen Xia's choice. Chen Xia hit the jackpot by accident. I also think those movies are nothing good. It seems that we have similar tastes. Chen Xia smiled. The president entered the screening room first with a smile on his face. The two of them were seated in the second row, very close to the curtain. After sitting down for a while, some pre-show preparation images and advertisements began to appear on the screen. Why is there no one here? It feels eerie. Chen Xia looked around and saw very few people around, only 7 or 8 in the whole place. The film is a niche one, with little publicity. Plus, it's normal that there are few people at this time. What, are you scared? The president looked at Chen Xia and said jokingly. Chen Xia shook his head. How is that possible? Oh my god. 3 minutes into the show, a high-energy face-to-face scene scared Chen Xia so much that he subconsciously moved towards the president. Tang Xuxia's expression was extremely calm. Looking at Chen Xia, who was clinging to her, she was not angry at all. Instead, she felt a little funny. He said he wasn't afraid just now, but now he's scared like a little kid. The scene returned to normal, and Chen Xia realized that he was a little scared and sat up straight. Xuxia, if you're scared, I can lend you my shoulder to lean on. Tang Xuxia covered her mouth and chuckled, okay. The movie progresses normally. The Grudge tells the story of an innocent father and daughter who were involved in a power and wealth conspiracy and were burned to death. He transformed into a fierce ghost and continued to harm people in the newly built building. In the end, he was saved by the protagonist, and now the plot has progressed to the point where the protagonist is ready to take the evidence to report the big boss behind the scenes. Suddenly, the scene changed, and a charred hand stretched out from the darkness of the building's basement stairs. Chen Xia was terrified when he thought about it, and quietly placed his hand on the president's hand. The president glanced sideways at Chen Xia. The latter played dumb, staring at the movie screen, holding onto the president's hand. Tang Xuxia couldn't believe it. She actually felt her heart beating faster. This guy has really become bolder. The movie lasted an hour and a half, and Chen Xia held the president's hand for at least half an hour. At the end of the movie, the big boss is thrown into prison, and the perspective shifts to the basement of the building. It seems that they are preparing to shoot The Conjuring 2. Overall, it's okay. There is also an Easter egg at the end of the movie. At this moment, Chen Xia suddenly heard a strange sound. Rustling sounds, plus, the sound of those who understand will understand. And that girl didn't hold back at all, her voice got really loud. Xuxia, did you hear any sound? Tang Xuxia turned her head and indicated that a couple was talking to each other at the left rear. Wow, so open. Bang. Chen Xia was slapped back. The strength is just right, it's confusing but not brain damaging. Don't look. Tang Xuxia said sternly. His face flushed slightly. Let's go. The president took Chen Xia and walked out of the screening room. The fresh air dispels the awkwardness. There are all kinds of people. They are not like us normal people. Even if we want to do it, we will do it at home or in a hotel. We won't do it in a public place, right Xuxia? Chen Xia said. Tang Xuxia was about to nod, but suddenly realized what was happening and looked slightly angry. Huh? Let's go. Let's go to the next location. Chen Xia played dumb and pulled the president outside. Tang Xuxia reacted and found that the two were still holding hands. She couldn't help but feel a little surprised, and her expression showed a unique cuteness. After dinner, at Chen Xia's suggestion, the two went to play script-killing games, went to an amusement park, and even played scratch cards. These ordinary rides became smooth and interesting because Chen Xia had arranged them in advance. Chen Xia took the president's hand whenever she got the chance, but the president was not angry at all. Chen Xia can only say, Sister Liao is MVP. Take me back, I'm tired. After dinner, the president said. After playing for a whole day, I am really tired. There will be fireworks over the moat at 9 o'clock, don't you want to go and see them? Chen Xia asked. If the president was really too tired, he would definitely send her back. Tang Xuxia had seldom been to Yuhang before and had never seen the fireworks over the moat. Go and have a look. Chen Xia was immediately delighted and drove towards the moat. On the way, the president received a call. I'm dating my boyfriend, no need to stay, Tang Xia said bluntly. Chen Xia was suddenly a little excited. When he made an appointment with the president, he just said he wanted to go out for a walk. Didn't he expect that the CEO actually understood that it was a date? But the next second, the president brought his phone closer. Call someone, my parents, the president reminded. Chen Xia was a little nervous for a moment. While driving, he said, Uncle, hello, uncle and aunt. Okay, good kids, be careful when you play outside. Call auntie if you have any problems. Tell auntie if you run out of money. The president's father seemed to say something, but it was drowned out by the aunt's somewhat excited voice. Okay, auntie. I'm driving. Please talk to Xia. Chen Xia was afraid that if he said too much he would be exposed. The president retracted his hand, said a few more words, and then hung up the phone. Very natural, not bad. My parents might want to see you tomorrow, so you should be prepared, the president said. Chen Xia instantly felt pressured again. There was nothing to say about her aunt, she was the best mother-in-law ever. But there's some trouble with my uncle. Once the truth comes out, both Chen Xia and the president will be finished. Okay, I'll try my best. Is there a reward for good performance? Chen Xia is naughty. Jurian. That's fine. On the moat bank, at about 8:40, the fireworks will begin. There are mosquitoes in this season, so Chen Xia bought some hualu water on the road so that he would not be surrounded by a swarm of mosquitoes. As more people come, there are fewer mosquitoes. Chen Xia and the president were at the edge of the crowd, closer to the river. At 9 o'clock sharp, the fireworks began. The flaming flowers bloom in the sky, and the mirror-like flowers and the moon are reflected in the water. The crowd exclaimed in admiration. The president looked up at the fireworks, the light and shadow illuminated her beautiful face, and Chen Xia looked at her. A cold wind blew, and Chen Xia quickly took off her coat, put it on the president, and took his hand. The president did not lower his head, but stared at the fireworks. For the first time, he separated his fingers and interlocked them. Beautiful scenery, beautiful woman, Chen Xia was stunned. There were 3 rounds of fireworks, and the first one lasted 5 minutes. Are you tired? I'll take you back, Chen Xia asked. Wait, what is that? The president suddenly pointed to the moat and said. Chen Xia looked over there and saw that there seemed to be a person next to a cluster of reeds. Chen Xia was startled and looked carefully. It looks like a person. There are police officers over there, go and call them over. There were a lot of people at the fireworks event tonight, and some police officers came to patrol around to maintain order. Chen Xia quickly ran towards a young policeman. Comrade police, we seem to have seen a body in the moat. As soon as these words were spoken, the police officer's face suddenly became serious. While reporting the situation to other police officers using the walkie-talkie, he followed Chen Xia to the shore. Looking from that position, it really did look like a dead body. The police officers became even more nervous. Soon, several policemen arrived. People around noticed the situation and came closer to watch, offering their help if they could. After a group of people worked for an hour or so, they fished out a lovely wife from the moat. That's right, that thing is a life-size silicone doll. Chen Xia and the president were in such an awkward situation. Fortunately, there were police officers to comfort me. It's okay. The light was bad and even we saw it wrong. When encountering suspicious situations like this, it's right to call the police. Don't worry. Chen Xia and the president nodded repeatedly, and without even watching the fireworks behind them, they quickly ran away. There was silence for a long time after getting in the car, and the two couldn't help but smile awkwardly. Today's date is really strange. First I met an open-minded young couple, and now my lovely wife has caused trouble for me. Chapter 16 Meeting the Parents. You performed well today, acting like a boyfriend. Keep it up. I'll come to see you tomorrow, driving my best friend's car. Outside the villa, Tang Xia highly recognized Chen Xia's performance today. But what she said was not quite accurate. By good performance, do you mean the playful activities on the date? Or their hand-holding? Or both? Okay, by the way, Xia, let's add a green bubble. Chen Xia took out his cell phone. Tang Xia also took out her mobile phone and scanned the code for Chen Xia. Okay, take a look. Wait, why didn't I receive any notifications about new friends? Let me see your phone. Chen Xia handed over the phone. Are you sure, Ji? Chen Xia was a little confused and took the president's phone to take a look. The other person was actually the beautiful lady from that day. Are you Qingyu? Tang Xuxia's expression changed. Chen Xia was in the green bubble number given by her father. No, my dad said that among the people he recommended, there was only one with the surname Chen. That person is not Chen Xia. There is only one possibility, you entered it wrong. There were thousands of possibilities, but I didn't expect it to be Chen Xia. Tang Xuxia felt a little warm in her heart for no reason. It seemed that she had a connection with this little guy. I seem to have blocked you. Wait a moment, I'll unblock you right away. Chen Xia returned the phone to the president and explained. You asked me to be your boyfriend, so I thought Qingyu was another girl, so I blocked her and deleted her. I didn't expect it was you. You're quite sensible. It's getting late. Go back and get some rest. Tang Xuxia smiled charmingly and took 2 steps back. Chen Xia felt a little strange, as if the president's attitude had become gentler. He waved, stepped on the accelerator and left. Tang Xuxia waved and watched McLaren go away. The wind blew the sleeves of my coat. Only then did Tang Xuxia realize that she had forgotten to return the coat to Chen Xia. Her smile couldn't help but grow wider. Last time she gave it to Chen Xia, and this time the little guy returned it to her. Jinxiu Community 603. After washing up, Chen Xia continued typing. Chen Xia certainly listened to his wife's request to go to bed early, but he could not abandon his readers. I'll just write until 11 o'clock today. Turning on the air conditioner, Chen Xia prepared to get to work. It is now the end of May and June is coming soon. The weather in Yuhang is already quite hot. Seeing the time in the lower right corner of the computer, Chen Xia suddenly remembered that his birthday was coming soon. June 6th. It just so happens that my mother's birthday is also in June, on the 30th. Thinking of her birthday, Chen Xia clicked on Xuxia's green bubble to check her birthday. July 7th. Wow, same month and number as Chen Xia. There is still more than a month, which is enough time for Chen Xia to prepare. I'll give you a surprise then. Chen Xia imagined it with a smile on his face. Putting down his phone, Chen Xia started typing. The next day, Chen Xia got up, sent a good morning message to Xuxia, and started washing up. There are many notifications on the phone, including a yellow typhoon warning. The coastal areas of Yuhang encounter several typhoons every year. It usually starts to appear in June and lasts until after October. The early show may start in April. After washing up, Chen Xia returned to the computer desk and picked up his mobile phone to send a message to Juduan Wangu. Brother Wangu, I'm so sorry. I may have something to do tonight. Can you find another time for dinner? I'm so sorry. I'll definitely meet you next time. I had originally made an appointment with Juduan Wangu to have dinner at Wanghu Tower on Sunday night. But because the president's parents wanted to meet Chen Xia, he had to turn it down and find time later. The other party finally replied after a long time. It's okay, I happen to be busy tonight, let us talk about it next time when I'm free. Chen Xia breathed a sigh of relief, turned on his computer and started typing, waiting to perform in the evening. Chen Xia coded until 12 o'clock and ordered some takeout. My parents basically don't come back for breakfast. While eating takeout, Chen Xia checked today's data. The growth in new reading volume is still very strong, more than 600,000 more than yesterday. Including the gifts, Chen Xia's income today exceeded 45,000. If this momentum can continue for a month, a monthly income of 1 million will become a reality. And, quite literally, these are small bucks. The biggest part comes from selling copyrights. The editor will talk to the film and television companies. If it is sold successfully, it is not impossible for a phenomenal book like Chen Xia's to cost over 10 million yuan. 5 o'clock in the afternoon, in the luxurious private room on the rooftop of Wanghu Building. Tang Jin and his wife sat down and waited. Old Tang, don't look so stern. You might scare the child. Liu Yi said as she saw her husband's grumpy face. Tang Jin said seriously, I checked recently. Apart from Chen Liuyan, who is in real estate business, there is no other Chen family in Yuhang City that can be mentioned in public. This girl Xuxia must be deceiving us. I want to see how they act later. Tang Jun's attitude was very firm. He wanted to check for his daughter and the Tang family. It is not easy for an unknown young man to enter the Tang family. Liu Yi felt helpless. She knew that Tang Jun had more things to consider. The Tang family has such a huge fortune, but they only have one daughter. In the future, everything will have to be handed over to my daughter and son-in-law. If the son-in-law is incompetent, there will be problems. At the same time, Jinxiu Avenue. After receiving a message from his wife, Chen Xia drove to the roadside and waited in advance. Tang Xuxia's outfit today is a half-shoulder lavender evening dress, which reveals very little, making her less charming and more dignified and elegant. She was carrying some gifts that looked very valuable. Chen Xia also made preparations. In the afternoon, he went out to buy Mao Tai and jewelry as gifts, spending a lot of money. Remember what I told you. Tang Xuxia got out of the Maybach, got into the McLaren, and said. Chen Xia started, remember, don't worry, I will bite my family to death in one bite. Tang Xuxia smiled, don't be too frivolous, my dad doesn't like people who are lazy. I understand. Don't worry. Chen Xia looked confident. Actually, I'm still a little nervous. It is hard for a working-class kid like Chen Xia to not feel pressured when meeting his parents as the CEO's boyfriend. Fortunately, Chen Xia's books are now popular, and at least in terms of economic level, he can improve himself to a certain extent. After a while, the McLaren slowly stopped in the parking space in front of the restaurant. Tang Jun on the top floor was looking down through the floor-to-ceiling window and saw his daughter and a boy getting out of a fancy McLaren. It is a bit fancy, but Tang Jun really didn't expect to drive a McLaren. However, as for something like a car, he would be able to tell at a glance whether it was real or not when he saw the person. After 7 or 8 minutes, there was a knock on the door, and Tang Xuxia pushed the door open holding Chen Xia's hand. The two of them seemed particularly close. Liu Yi looked delighted and stood up to greet her daughter and son-in-law. When Tang Jun saw the intimate behavior of the two, his face became even uglier. Mom and Dad, this is my boyfriend Chen Xia, hurry up and call him. Tang Xuxia said with a smile. Chen Xia quickly greeted them, hello, uncle and aunt. I brought you some small gifts. As he spoke, he placed various gifts on the table. Okay, come and sit down. Liu Yi's smile was very broad, in stark contrast to Tang Jun's gloomy face. Tang Xuxia pulled Chen Xia to sit down, and the two sat close to each other, trying to appear as intimate as possible. Let's order. Etc. Tang Jun stared at Chen Xia and said, are you my daughter's boyfriend? The seemingly nonsense question is actually more like a question. Especially when looking at his face that looked intimidating without even getting angry, Chen Xia couldn't help but feel under great pressure. Yes, uncle, Xuxia and I have been in a relationship for some time. Chen Xia endured the pressure and responded calmly. Xuxia told us that your family has many businesses. I wonder what they are for. What is the name of the company? I want to learn more. Tang Xuxia held Chen Xia's hand under the table, looking a little nervous. Yes, uncle. My family is involved in many industries, including seafood, automobiles, and even department stores. As for the company, my parents are in charge, and I am doing my own thing. Chen Xia's answer made Tang Xuxia's face change slightly. It seemed that the last sentence was not rehearsed in advance. You don't even know what your family's company is called. Tang Jun felt that he was starting to get angry. Liu Yi quickly tried to smooth things over. Didn't Xiao Xia say that he is doing his own thing, and the company is managed by his parents? What are you doing? Starting your own business? Or just lying down and living off your parents? Spending money on wine and women? Tang Jun's goal today was to expose the two people, so the questions were very tricky. No, I'm writing a novel, and my pen name is Summer Solstice. Chen Xia said bluntly. Tang Xuxia pinched Chen Xia. Why was this different from her plan? It's not that she is discriminatory, she reads novels herself, but isn't he a tantamount to suicide to say this in front of her father? It's over. Tang Xuxia had a feeling that her father was going to be angry. What? Tang Jun stood up immediately. Dad. I feel a little uncomfortable. Chen Xia, come with me for a while. We'll be back soon. Tang Xuxia pulled Chen Xia and ran out. Chapter 17. My father-in-law is my reader. It's over. Why don't you do what we agreed on? At the corner of the corridor, Tang Xia questioned. Chen Xia quickly explained, "Uncle must have investigated secretly. If I say more, I will be exposed. The reason why I mentioned writing novels is to change the subject. Besides, I'm not lying, I'm really writing a novel. My grades are pretty good, and with the background you mentioned before, plus pretty good grades, isn't this even more perfect?" Tang Xia knew that Chen Xia was writing novels and that they were very popular. She also admired Chen Xia's talent. But this doesn't mean that dad is the same as her. But, oh, never mind. You're right, my dad must have investigated. No, you go first. Tang Xia said helplessly. It might be better to go back and reconcile the matter and then find another opportunity to meet. If I run away now, my uncle will definitely have a worse impression of me. Chen Xia said. Tang Xia thought for a moment and said, "How about this, when you go in, you just pretend to be dumb and I'll tell you. Don't say a word. Do you understand? This okay?" The two returned to the private room. "Xia, how are you? Are you okay? Do you want to go to the hospital?" Liu Yi asked with concern. Tang Xia shook her head, pursed her red lips, and was about to use her meticulous logic to make everything round. Tang Jin suddenly said, "If you have nothing to do, order some food." Okay. Tang Xia's prepared speech was completely disrupted by her father's words. In this situation, whether or not to order dishes actually represents whether dad approves of Chen Xia. Why would he suddenly ask for the order? Do you recognize Chen Xia? Tang Xia was completely confused. Look at Chen Xia next to him. Chen Xia's puzzled expression showed that he didn't know either. "Mom, please order." Tang Xia took advantage of the situation, called the waiter, and gave the menu to her mother. Just as my mother was about to take the menu, Tang Jin said again, "Let's order for Xia. Let's see what he likes to eat." Tang Xia and her mother looked at each other, and then looked at Tang Jin in unison. Is this the impression they had of him? Chen Xia is in a daze now. I was prepared to face the storm and even be driven away. What are you doing here suddenly? Tang Xia placed the menu in front of Chen Xia and poked Chen Xia with her hand under the table. Chen Xia couldn't help but glance at his father-in-law. Tang Jin's expression was not as serious as before, "Order whatever you like." Although Liu Yi didn't understand, isn't the current situation the best? Xia, don't be shy. If you have the chance, ask your parents to come out for dinner and get to know each other. Har har, wait and see, Mom. Chen Xia's parents are very busy. Don't you and Dad have to go back in a couple of days? Tang Xia quickly interrupted. I was afraid that Chen Xia would foolishly agree to it, which would make it even more difficult to fulfill. It's not like Xia doesn't have a mouth. You don't have to speak for him. Tang Jin said. His tone is much better now. Chen Xia usually listens to me, right? Tang Xia held Chen Xia's arm, looking sweet. Liu Yi smiled like an auntie. Xia, if this girl dares to bully you, tell your auntie and I will teach her a lesson. Did you hear me? Okay, auntie, hee. Chen Xia smiled. He ordered 2 dishes at random and gave the menu to Tang Xia. She ordered some more food. Xia, do you want to drink? Tang Jin asked. Chen Xia hesitated. He doesn't drink, but is afraid to upset his father-in-law by telling the truth. After careful observation, Chen Xia discovered that when his father-in-law asked this question, he did not take the wine. I immediately decided to tell the truth. Uncle, I don't drink. Where's the cigarette? Do you smoke? No. Tang Jin immediately showed a somewhat satisfied look, and asked again, besides writing novels, do you have any other hobbies? I usually play basketball, nothing else. Chen Xia's words are 100% true. As Liu Yi listened to these answers, her face became more and more joyful. Everyone would like a son-in-law who is handsome, has no bad habits, and is very talented. That's good, but don't be too happy too soon. The turn of Tang Jin's words aroused the 3 people's interest again. Xia is our only daughter. We are very happy that she has found a boyfriend, but as parents, we definitely hope that Xia can have a suitable partner in all aspects. Chen Xia panicked when he heard this. This tone, this topic direction, why does it seem like they are trying to dissuade him from talking? So you have to work hard and don't let Xia and us down. After all this time, it is both encouragement and requirement. Chen Xia quickly agreed, Okay, uncle, I will try my best. As he said this, he wiped his forehead, he was sweating. Tang Xia and her mother were also completely relieved. The fact that Tang Jin could say these words meant that he was quite satisfied with Chen Xia so far. The only thing they couldn't understand was why Tang Jin's attitude changed 180 degrees. As we were chatting, the dishes were served and we ate and chatted. Xia, pick some food for Xia. Seeing that Chen Xia was still a little restrained, Liu Yi said to her daughter. Then he asked the key question, Xia, has Xia ever talked to you about marriage? Chen Xia was about to respond when Tang Jin said, don't worry, let the children get along with each other for a while. From this sentence, Chen Xia basically understood what his father-in-law meant. I also understand why he said, don't be happy too soon. He should know that Chen Xia's identity is most likely fake. But for some reason, he seemed to be quite satisfied with Chen Xia and no longer pursued the identity of the editor. This does not mean that Chen Xia will definitely be able to enter the marriage hall with Xia. He will also have to see how Chen Xia performs, how she gets along with Xia, and as he just mentioned, whether Chen Xia has made an effort. It's just like an assessment. Now that Chen Xia has completed the first stage, if he wants to marry Tang Xia, he has to go through it one stage at a time. Although they urged their daughter to get married, it didn't mean that she could just marry any boy she picked up. Xia's status as a rich girl was there. Yes, Mom, Chen Xia and I have talked about it. After all, marriage is a big deal, so we should take our time. Of course, it won't take too long. Tang Xia responded. Liu Yi shook her head and glanced at Tang Jin. Today's old Tang confused her. Sometimes it's a match, sometimes it's a block. Okay, then you guys have to get along well with each other. If you need anything, just tell us. Did you hear me, Xia? Okay, thank you, uncle and aunt. Chen Xia thanked him. Liu Yi smiled and said, you're welcome, Xia. I'm warning you again, don't bully Xia. I know, Mom. You forgot your own daughter when you got a son-in-law. Tang Xia pretended to be angry. A few people smiled. After dinner, Tang Jin and Liu Yi were picked up by the driver. Phew, it was a close call. Tang Xia could finally relax. At first, I thought I was going to be kicked out by my uncle. Chen Xia smiled. He still hasn't figured out why his father-in-law's attitude suddenly changed. Tang Xia didn't know either. She looked at Chen Xia and said, after this encounter, we won't have it again for a long time. When they return to the capital, you just need to pretend from time to time. Are you going to keep pretending? Chen Xia cast a glance over. Tang Xia smiled and said, probably not. I'll give you the money in a month. Come on, take me back. Tang Xia walked towards the car. Turning back and seeing that Chen Xia didn't move, he said again, let's go. Oh. Chen Xia followed. Jinxiu Community 603. After seeing the president off, Chen Xia returned home and lay on the sofa. Boss, do you know my heart? Chen Xia said self-deprecatingly. Suddenly, he thought of Sister Liao and hurriedly opened the book to read, ready to ask her what to do. I just went up and found that Juduan Wangu had sent a message. I don't think I need to find time anymore. Chen Xia was suddenly a little flustered. Is the boss angry? Brother Wangu, I really don't mean to stand you up, there is something really important. This is a very important thing, is it to meet your partner's parents? We have already met them, your performance is not bad, keep working hard, Chen Xia. This time the other party replied immediately. What are you? Chen Xia jumped up. The one who rules the world is the father-in-law? Chapter 18 Military Advisor, Qin Liao. Chen Xia understood why his father-in-law changed his attitude. Thinking about it carefully, it seemed that my father-in-law was surprised when he said his pen name. Then his attitude changed. I never expected that my father-in-law is also a reader of Chen Xia. And judging from the changes in my father-in-law, he is not only a reader, but also a fan, a die-hard fan. Okay uncle, I will continue to work hard. Oh, by the way, can you reduce the role of the green tea female supporting character in the book? I don't feel comfortable watching her. It would be better if she goes out and gets hit by a car. Chen Xia couldn't help but laugh when he saw the message from his father-in-law. I also realized that a person is three-dimensional and multifaceted. It is not just a piece of paper or a color. The chairman of a distinguished position was actually disgusted by a green tea character and even suggested getting hit by a car. Okay, I'll arrange it right away. Is a tanker truck okay? Sensible. Chen Xia exited from Juduan Wangu's private message interface and clicked on Sister Liao's private message. Sister Liao, are you there? It's over. After 2 or 3 minutes, the other party replied. What's wrong? I met the president's parents today. Wow, so fast, is everything going well? Chen Xia's fingers were moving rapidly. It's okay. There were some minor incidents, but overall, the uncle and aunt are quite satisfied. The best thing is that the uncle is also a fan of my book. Can you believe it? He is the one you mentioned above. For a long time, the other party did not reply. Chen Xia thought something was wrong with her, but the other party replied again. It's really a coincidence. This is a good thing. Meeting my parents went smoothly, and my father-in-law still has this relationship. Why do you say it's over? Alas, you also know that the CEO and I are fake boyfriend and girlfriend. After meeting my parents, the CEO said that he would give me the money in a month. Doesn't that mean that her view of me is the simplest transaction? The other party paused for a while again. What can I say to you? You idiot. Didn't you two go on a date yesterday? How was it? It's okay. Although I encountered some embarrassing things, it's generally good. From what you said, I held the president's hand several times and she didn't feel disgusted. Then you don't have to worry at all. She must have a crush on you. As for what she said after meeting her parents, you idiot. Girls are reserved. We started with the excuse of a deal. She's a girl, so why should she take the initiative? This should be you, understand? Hey, Sister Liao, did you call the wrong number? It should be you guys, right? Oh, right, wrong. Wrong number. Am I taking the initiative? I understand. You idiot, you understood it so quickly. I'd better tell you. Your relationship is very delicate now, so you have to be more careful. Isn't it normal to go to work on Monday? You can prepare a small gift for her, such as making a fan with your own characteristics, because the weather in Yuhang is hot. Or you can be bolder and offer to massage the president's shoulders or something. As long as it's not excessive, you can develop a relationship quickly. Of course, I have an ultimate killer move. Do you want to hear it? Wow, the ultimate killer move. Of course I will listen. I have to charge others 99.99, but for you, I will round off the number and charge you 10,000 yuan. This. Sister Liao, are you trying to reverse the result? Would you like to listen? Listen. Fight for the president. I'll owe you the money first, and you can pay it back to me when I have a chance to hang out with you later, or you can spend it on the CEO first, keep a record of it, and you don't have to pay. Without further ado, listen carefully, the ultimate killer move is, act like a spoiled child. What? Chen Xia jumped up with a question mark on his face. Acting like a spoiled child. Sister Liao, I'm the man. Are you sure you're not mistaken? Let's just say you're a fool. Normally, girls act like a spoiled brat, but think about it. Who is your girlfriend? She's an iceberg beauty, a female CEO who is so beautiful that she can make fishes sink to the bottom of the water, geese fall to the ground, the moon hide in shame, flowers blush, and a woman of heavenly beauty, who is so beautiful that she can overturn a country. 500 words omitted here. She must be used to the respectful treatment of people around her, so she has to find another way at this time. This kind of female CEO is very competitive. If you are tough, she will be tougher than you, which is not advisable. But if you act coquettishly, it will be effective. Especially with your current relationship with her, you can combine it with rubbing her shoulders. Remember, you should address her in a more intimate way, such as adding sister after her name, because at this stage, calling her wife is a little too fast. At this moment, in a villa in Hongshu district, Tang Xuxia was wearing suspender hot pants and laughing on the sofa until her stomach hurt. She could already imagine what funny things Chen Xia would do on Monday. Acting coquettishly. She felt like she was a genius for being able to think of such a fun thing. At this moment, Chen Xia didn't dare to miss a single word and read it very seriously. Okay. I'll try it tomorrow. What if the president gets angry? No, trust me. Remember to tone it down a little, like a kitten. Chen Xia's pupils trembled. What kind of vicious words were these? Kitten? Chen Xia's death was unexpected. This word will be used to describe him one day. No, absolutely not. Chen Xia would rather die than turn into a kitten. I am a 7-foot tall man. Chen Xia angrily typed 2 words on his phone, okay. Don't get me wrong, I simply don't want to oppose my mentor Sister Liao. You know. Don't worry, take your time, the president will definitely be yours. With Sister Liao's advice, I will be able to win the beauty's heart in no time, har ha har har. Sister Liao, you must come to Yuhang, I must thank you very much. When the president and I have a big fat boy in the future, I must recognize you as the godmother. But, you've already thought of that. I like my daughter, is that okay? Well, that depends on fate. Anyway, my godmother has chosen you. Chen Xia was so happy that he didn't notice the word game. I have something else to do, so I won't talk about it for now. Just remember that the president likes you, so seize the opportunity and move forward steadily. Receive. Chen Xia stretched lazily. Sister Liao is awesome. After talking to her, the haze in my heart completely disappeared. It was still early, so Chen Xia went out to buy things for making a fan. Hongshu district, inside the villa. Tang Xuxiar did the same stretching and then rubbed her belly. Laughed till my stomach hurt. She is already looking forward to Mondays. Looking forward to what embarrassing or funny behavior Chen Xia will do. You must hold back your laughter when the time comes, unless you can't help it. Putting the phone aside, Tang Xuxiar planned to get some fruit to eat. Just as I got up, Green Bubble sent a message. Tang Xuxiar sat back down. I picked up the phone and saw it was my good friend Qin Liao. Tang Xuxiar felt a little guilty for having just used her vest to tease Chen Xia. Xuxia, I have been busy these 2 days and I am sorry that I didn't chat with you. It's okay, what are you doing, little homegirl? Tang Xuxia replied. Anyway, Liao is far away in the capital, she won't know. Busy packing up, I'm moving to Yuhang for a while, surprise. We'll meet soon. Tang Xuxia's pretty face was slightly surprised. Don't. Chapter 19 Shoulder Massage. Why are you coming back suddenly? Tang Xuxia is a little panicked now. My grandparents are in Yuhang, and I go back to live there for a while every year. Don't you know that? Oh, yes. I forgot. Yuhang is a bit hot these 2 days. How about coming back in 2 days? It's okay. I can wear a skirt when I get home. It's still a bit cold in the capital. Tang Xuxiar didn't know whether to laugh or cry. If Chen Xia knew that the person who had been helping him to capture the CEO was the CEO himself. Tang Xuxia's face turned red instantly. Before discovering that Chen Xia was the author of the novel, Tang Xuxia felt that Chen Xia was more interesting. I didn't expect it to develop to this point. Never mind, just take it one step at a time. At worst I can discuss it with my bestie. She will surely understand. Okay. When will you come? I'll pick you up then. The day after tomorrow morning, I will go to my grandmother's house with my dad. Okay, tell me when you come. After sending the message, Tang Xuxia put down her phone and walked towards the refrigerator to find food. Jinshu Community 603. Chen Xia spent 3 hours and successfully made a rice paper folding fan, which was purely handmade. There is a pair of lovebirds painted on the back, and half a poem written by Chen Xia on the front. I wish to win the heart of one person. Although the folding fan is not that gorgeous, Chen Xia did put a lot of effort into it. After finishing the folding fan, Chen Xia returned to the room and continued his writing journey today. Life is changing, but the words are constant. Life can be hard, but Chen Xia cannot let his readers who support him lose. More must be more. How can 3 chapters a day be enough? If the foreigners next door see it, they will think we look down on it. 6 chapters. 6 chapters a day. Chen Xia posted 6 chapters. The number of manuscripts saved has decreased a lot, but Chen Xia is not worried, because he writes every day and there will be no deficit for the time being. The next day, the company. Fatila went back to his hometown over the weekend and brought back a lot of homemade dried fruits. He lived alone in Yuhang and couldn't finish the food, so he brought it to the company to share. A group of people gathered around Fatila's workstation eating dried fruits. If you want to know what is the most delicious, the things that people are fighting over are the most delicious. Just like when we were students, we would share a bucket of instant noodles with several people in the dormitory. I will never forget the taste of that. Brother Xia, did you have dinner with the president? Fatila came up to Chen Xia and asked in a mean way. Chen Xia shook her head. How is that possible? Do you think the CEO is just an ordinary girl who will go out for dinner just because she asks? Oh, I thought you and the president could have a. Fatila suddenly started stuttering. Chen Xia turned around and saw the president standing behind him in a professional suit. Tang Xuxia's face was stern, and she tapped her watch with her slender fingers. It's 15 minutes before work starts, go to work quickly. Colleagues around him hurried back to their respective workstations. Tang Xuxia's gaze fell on Chen Xia again. We're almost done with last week's project summary. Let's finish it. Having said that, he turned and left. Chen Xia stood up, took a handful of dried fruits, picked up his folding fan, and followed. Alas, Brother Xia has a miserable life. He is called to be a slave every day. Fatila shook his head and expressed sympathy towards Chen Xia. President's office. Xuxia, do you want it? Chen Xia handed over the dried fruit. Tang Xuxia pushed up her gold-rimmed glasses and said, just call me President or Mr. Tang in the company. Also, don't reveal our relationship to other people. Okay, President, don't worry, I didn't tell them about us. Chen Xia sat down at the desk. Hand. The president said again. Chen Xia raised his hand, and the president proudly took all the dried fruits away. Don't leave a single piece. Chen Xia had no words to express his pain. By the way, President, I made this myself. The weather has been a bit hot recently, so you should be able to use it. Chen Xia took the opportunity to give the folding fan to the president. Tang Xuxia's face was very calm, and there was no sign of any change in her expression. Taking the folding fan, Tang Xuxia raised the corners of her mouth slightly. That's thoughtful. He turned and walked towards the sofa, unable to suppress his smile. When he sat on the sofa and faced Chen Xia, his smile disappeared again. Chen Xia continued to do hard labor. The folding fan that Sister Liao mentioned has been made and given as a gift. It's really hard to talk about it when I act coquettishly. By the way, she said it can be combined with actions like shoulder massage. Chen Xia glanced at the president opposite her, then she leaned back on the sofa and started looking at her phone again. If you keep this posture for a long time, you will probably get backache. Chen Xia will then take action. Tang Xuxia read the novel and glanced at Chen Xia from time to time. Seeing that the other party didn't move for a long time, I couldn't help but feel a little confused. Didn't he promise it? Maybe I'm embarrassed. Tang Xuxia decided to read a novel for a while to give Chen Xia some time. After all, acting like a spoiled brat is indeed shameful for a boy. The office quieted down. From time to time, the president's pleasant laughter could be heard. At 11 o'clock in the morning, Chen Xia had actually completed the project summary. But it's really embarrassing to act like a spoiled child on your own initiative. Tang Xuxia noticed that Chen Xia was on pins and needles, and suddenly she became an actress. She put down her phone, stretched, and twisted her neck. He pretended to have a sore back and rubbed his shoulders. The opportunity has come. Chen Xia said at the right time, President, it's done. Good. Tang Xuxia rubbed her neck, walked to the computer and bent down to check. The surging momentum really made Chen Xia unable to resist, and accompanied by the faint fragrance and long black silk legs, it was simply enough to make people want to commit a crime. Chen Xia quickly stood up and let her go. Looking at her rubbing her neck, he said with a stiff face, Boss, I know some massage techniques. Why don't I give you a massage? Tang Xuxia tried hard to hold back her smile. It finally came. Need not. Tang Xuxia was not impatient and refused calmly. Chen Xia felt her face starting to get hot. That sentence was so embarrassing. Sister Xuxia, let me help you rub it, just once. Chen Xia spoke in a low voice. Tang Xuxia turned her head and pretended to be confused. What did you say? I didn't hear it. Chen Xia dug her toes into the ground. Sister Xuxia, let me give you a massage, please. Sister Xuxia is the best. Tang Xuxia almost burst out laughing, and quickly turned her head to stop the laughter that was about to come out. When he turned around again, Chen Xia's face turned red. Tang Xuxia, there are so many young people around, and it is rare to see a boy who can blush like this. So cute. Okay, don't mess around. Tang Xuxia sat on the chair. Chen Xia felt like he was alive again and almost died on the spot. Don't worry, I'm a gentleman. Chen Xia stepped forward and began to rub the president's shoulders. The charming fragrance made Chen Xia imagine a lot. He actually hasn't learned any massage techniques, but he can still do some general shoulder massage. The president seemed to be enjoying it, leaning back in his chair with his eyes slightly closed. Wait, after we get married, I'll let you rub me too. Chen Xia said viciously in his heart. Tang Xuxia was trying to hold back her laughter at this moment. Chen Xia was really good at deceiving people. He was asked to act like a spoiled child, and he really acted like a spoiled child foolishly. Sister Xuxia, are you still strong enough? Is your waist sore? Do you want to rub it together? If your waist isn't sore, your legs will be fine too. Chen Xia started to act naughty again. It's sour here too, let's join in. Tang Xuxia pointed to her chest. Chen Xia, eh? Chapter 20 Little Cousin. Isn't this not good? Chen Xia smiled awkwardly. The president rolled his eyes at him and stood up. Okay, go back. Chen Xia took 2 steps outside, turned around and asked, President, the one-day island tour I won last time will expire in 3 days. Are you free soon? As a boyfriend and girlfriend, it's reasonable to go out and play together, right? Tang Xuxia slid the mouse, looked at the computer screen and said, the day after tomorrow. Okay. Chen Xia responded, turned around and left with light steps. Just thinking about a day trip to the island with the president is exciting. When I returned to my workstation, Fatila came over with the last bit of dried fruit. I left it for you, Brother Xia. You are so pitiful. You have been a slave all this time. Did the president give you any extra compensation? Extra pay? No. Chen Xia thought about it and thought that rubbing shoulders definitely doesn't count, right? Fatila's eyes became more sympathetic. Brother Xia, you've suffered so much. Chen Xia smiled but said nothing. In the evening, Chen Xia went home after get off work. When he opened the door, Chen Xia was stunned. The usually deserted home suddenly became lively today. Xiao Xia is back? Your uncle and his family are here for a trip, hurry up and call them. Mom stood up and pulled Chen Xia over. Hello, uncle and aunt. Chen Xia shouted. My aunt smiled and said, I haven't seen you for a few years. Xiao Xia is taller than your mother now. My uncle seemed to have some social anxiety. He nodded at Chen Xia and continued to look at his phone. Chen Xia was a little embarrassed. Because my uncle's house is far away from Yuhang City, I haven't visited him frequently for several years. The relationship is naturally not that close. Go talk to your uncle and aunt. I'm stewing the ribs. They'll be ready soon. Mom evacuated the battlefield. Chen Xia suddenly had a bad feeling. Xiao Xia, are you still in college? Here it comes. Chen Xia really wants to escape, but she can't help herself. He smiled and said, Aunt, I have graduated for more than 2 years. Oh, you're working now? Where do you work now? There is no way, because we haven't seen them for a long time, and there is a generation gap between us and these elders, so the only topic we can think of temporarily is these annoying greetings. It's right next to it, Huachuang technology. Chen Xia said as little as possible to prevent her aunt from finding other topics to talk about. Huachuang technology. Not bad, Xiao Xia, I've heard of this company. The salary is not low, right? My aunt asked the most difficult question with a smile. Not bad, more than 6,000. Chen Xia lied. Chen Xia's actual salary in the company is only around 4,000. The reason why it was raised to 6,000 is because the people they are dealing with are relatives. When facing relatives, no matter whether the relationship is good or bad, once the topic comes up, salary and benefits, it's better to say an acceptable number. Not too high, not too low. It's too high, anyone would be jealous, and some might even ask you to lend them 30,000 to 50,000 yuan and never pay it back. If your score is too low, people will look down on you from the bottom of their hearts and will not take you seriously. So, 6 to 8,000 is the best answer. Oh, not bad, not bad. After not seeing you for a few years, Xiao Xia has really grown up. Your monthly salary is even higher than your aunt's. My aunt's expression was full of smiles, but suddenly the tone changed. You really don't worry your mother, unlike your cousin. She just graduated this year and hasn't found a job yet. She stays at home every day and does nothing. Alas. Chen Xia was about to comfort her when her aunt asked again, Xia, what is your position in the company? Can you please help your cousin find a job for her? Aunt, I'm just an ordinary employee, not in the HR department. Chen Xia was upset. It wasn't that he didn't want to help, but as an ordinary employee he really didn't have the power to use backdoors. As for the relationship with the president, so far, the fake has not been turned into real life. Xia, you are in the company after all, you can talk to your colleagues in the HR department, right? It's not a big deal. Chen Xia was confused. It's not as simple as you said. Aunt, it's early June now and our company is about to start recruiting. You can ask your cousin to submit her resume and try out. Where is she? I can talk to her. Chen Xia continued the topic and prepared to leave. Really? She's in your room. Can you borrow my computer? When Chen Xia heard this, he hurried to the room. When I opened the door, I saw a flat-chested, innocent little cousin with a high ponytail, wearing suspender hot pants. She was shoeless, with one of her white and tender feet resting on a chair, eating melon seeds while using the computer. Cousin? You're back? I guess you don't mind if I borrow your computer. The little cousin said with a smile. Chen Xia walked closer and saw his little cousin editing a video on the computer. It's okay, just don't touch my files. Don't worry, I understand. Which of you boys doesn't have study materials? My little cousin is very pretty and looks so cute when she smiles. Don't talk nonsense, I don't have any, these are all company documents. Chen Xia sat by the bed and saw her little cousin was still editing the video. She asked, are you doing self-media? Yes. I have been doing self-media for 3 months. How is it? Is it getting better? Chen Xia asked. When my little cousin talked about this topic, she suddenly became very excited. I now have more than 30,000 fans, and I can earn about 3,000 yuan a month by monetizing my traffic. My traffic is quite high now, but I can't accept advertisements, so I can't make much money. Your mother asked me to find you a job. Chen Xia smiled. Do you also think I'm not doing my job properly, cousin? The little cousin asked pitifully. Chen Xia stepped forward and took a look at the video content. It was very simple, just dancing. No, your video style is too monotonous, and your personality is completely absent. You definitely can't accept advertising or promote products. I can teach you a trick, do you want to learn? Is it reliable, cousin? Nonsense. Listen to me, change your ways, find a reliable boy, and don't need her to be on the show, just hold up your phone and take pictures. You two can act as a couple and take pictures of your daily life as a couple. Chen Xia analyzed, this way it will be very easy for you to advertise. You can just insert it into your video. It won't be as abrupt as it is now. That sounds great, but where can I find a reliable boy to play my boyfriend? My little cousin is in trouble. Chen Xia spread his hands and said, that's your business. I'm only responsible for giving advice. Remember to find someone reliable. As she was talking, the little cousin turned around and looked at Chen Xia with a smile. Chen Xia moved back. What's that look? The little cousin jumped over and took Chen Xia's hand. Cousin, can you play my boyfriend? I'm sure you can do it. Don't talk nonsense. We are brother and sister. Even though we are cousins, this is not allowed. Chen Xia quickly pulled her little cousin's hand away. If his uncle and aunt see him, won't they kill him? Commit a sin. It's just acting. Even acting is not possible. Chen Xia was firm in his attitude. The little cousin was very frustrated, her eyes suddenly turned red. I thought my cousin understood me, but it turns out he is just like them. Wu Tilder. Don't cry, don't cry. Chen Xia turned his head and looked at the door. Everything would be fine once his aunt came over. There's a reason why I'm not helping you. What? You have a girlfriend. You guessed it right, don't tell anyone else. Why can't I tell you? Are you trying to be someone else's bootlicker? I want to tell my aunt. Chen Xia's scalp was tingling, and she quickly pulled her little cousin and said, I'll treat you to a meal, and keep it a secret from me. It's a deal. The little cousin laughed. Chapter 21 Jealousy. What? They went out to eat. These two kids. When my mother learned that Chen Xia and Wan Keek had gone out to eat, she became furious. She cooked a table full of dishes. It's okay, let's eat. My aunt walked into the kitchen with a smile, completely unaware of the impending food storm. At the same time, Chen Xia and Wang Keek have arrived at the garage. Cousin, you're driving this. Wang Keek pointed at the second-hand lavender and said with some disdain. Chen Xia's head was blown off as soon as he got in touch with him, but he was not afraid outside. You are still young and don't learn well. A car is just a means of transportation, don't you understand? Did you drive this when you picked up your sister-in-law? I don't believe it. Wang Keek was quite smart. She just hugged her arms and refused to get on the bus. Chen Xia really couldn't do anything with this girl, so he locked the door of the lavender and walked into the depths of the garage alone. Cousin, where are you going? Wait for me. Stay where you are. Wang Keek said, oh, and stood next to Lang Yi waiting. Soon, the roar of the McLaren filled the garage. Wang Keek looked surprised and looked towards the source of the sound. The McLaren approached quickly and stopped in front of her. Is this car okay? Let's go. Wow, cousin, you are so awesome. This is a supercar. The little girl was so happy that she almost jumped up and got into the car quickly. Don't tell anyone, you hear me? Chen Xia warned. Is this car my sister-in-law's? It seems my cousin has found a rich woman. Don't worry. I won't tell my aunt. Chen Xia was too lazy to explain anything and drove out. Not long after, we arrived at a Michelin 3-star restaurant near the cafe where Chu Yuxuan was last seen. Cousin, this is my first time in a Michelin 3-star restaurant. You are so rich. Wang Keek exclaimed. Chen Xia felt very tired, as this was also his first time here. This girl was clamoring to come. The waiter handed over the menu and Chen Xia gave it to Coco to order. With Chen Xia's current financial resources, it doesn't matter if he is a bit casual. Wang Keek looked at the menu, covering her cherry lips from time to time, and was very surprised. I ordered 2 dishes at random and pushed the menu back. Chen Xia ordered a few more dishes. Cousin, how far have you and sister-in-law gotten? Why don't you let me and my aunt tell them? Wang Keek asked. Why are you asking so many questions? Chen Xia didn't want to reveal too much to this little kid, as it would be troublesome if she let something slip. TSK, forget it, I think my cousin must be kept by a rich woman, right? Wang Keek provoked. Chen Xia couldn't bear it anymore and stepped forward to take action. At this moment, not far away, a graceful figure appeared and sat down with an equally graceful middle-aged woman. The moment she sat down, she inadvertently saw Chen Xia and Wang Keek playing around. Chen Xia grabbed her cousin's ear and asked, are you still talking nonsense? Just wait, I'll go back and tell my mom that you bullied me. Chen Xia grabbed the little girl's face again, go back. Do you believe I will throw you away? I don't believe it. Wang Keek is very stubborn. Just as Chen Xia was about to continue threatening, a familiar voice suddenly came from behind him, Chen Xia. Chen Xia's face suddenly changed and he turned around quickly. Tang Xuxia was wearing a white suit and standing 2 steps away. He doesn't look very good. Xuxia? Why are you here? Let me introduce you, this is me. I'm Brother Chen Xia's girlfriend. Who are you? Does Brother Chen Xia know you? Wang Keek took revenge on Chen Xia and suddenly said this. Chen Xia wanted to strangle her to death. Oh, I'm Chen Xia's boss, sorry to bother you. Tang Xuxia looked unhappy and turned away. Xuxia. Chen Xia hurriedly went forward to pull her, but she pushed him away. Just stay here and I'll come back to deal with you. Chen Xia warned Wang Keek and immediately went after the president. Unexpectedly, it was just a few seconds late and the elevator went down. The 12th floor. Chen Xia looked at the other side which was still on the 20th floor and decisively chose to run up the stairs. Racing against time, Chen Xia rushed out of the first floor stairs, only to find that the familiar Maybach S680 had entered the main road and quickly moved away. Depend on. Chen Xia was furious. After a while, he rushed upstairs. Wang Keek shrank in her seat and didn't dare to move even after all the dishes were served. She looked a little nervous, as if she realized she was in trouble. Seeing Chen Xia appear, a little light appeared in her eyes, and she hurriedly came forward. Cousin, eat quickly and explain to me after you finish eating. Chen Xia's serious words made Wang Keek understand that her cousin was really angry. I'm sorry cousin, I didn't know that sister was my sister-in-law. I didn't expect this to happen. Wang Keek quickly apologized. Chen Xia remained silent. Cousin, I'm sorry, I know I was wrong, can you please forgive me, woo-woo. The little brat started crying again. Chen Xia rubbed his temples and said, eat. After you finish eating, come with me to explain to her. If you don't explain it to me clearly today, I will throw you into the moat to take a bath. Okay, I'll explain it to you later. Wang Keek quickly agreed. While Chen Xia was waiting for her to eat, he logged into Chen Xia and prepared to ask his mentor what to do in this situation. Sister Liao, something big happened. My cousin came to my house today, and I took her out to eat, and ran into the CEO. I didn't expect that my cousin, this girl, claimed to be my girlfriend. The CEO misunderstood and got jealous, and I didn't catch up with her. What should I do? After sending it out, Chen Xia waited anxiously. The advice Sister Liao gives is always useful, and her opinions are definitely more accurate. But Chen Xia waited for nearly an hour, until Wang Keek finished eating, but she didn't reply. Chen Xia suddenly felt unlucky. Not only did he encounter this kind of thing, but Sister Liao also had other things to do. After paying the bill, Chen Xia took the damn girl Wang Keek and rushed to Hongshu district. Halfway through, Wang Keek suddenly shouted again, "Cousin, stop." Chen Xia stopped by the side of the road. The silly girl got out of the car, ran to the flower shop nearby, and bought a bouquet of flowers with her own money. After I explain it clearly, you can give it to my sister-in-law, and then give her a kiss and a hug, and everything will be fine. The silly girl returned to the car holding the flowers, and considering that she paid for the flowers herself, she was called little brat again. After more than 20 minutes, the McLaren stopped outside the villa. Coincidentally, I happened to meet Xuxia's aunt who was taking out the garbage. Auntie, could you please tell me that someone has sent something to Miss Tang Xuxia, and she needs to come and pick it up in person? Chen Xia stepped forward and said. Auntie looked at Chen Xia's clothes and the McLaren next to her and nodded. Wait a moment, I'll go talk to the lady. After a while, Tang Xuxia appeared. Chen Xia quickly appeared from the side carrying Wang Keek. Explain quickly. Sister-in-law, I'm sorry. Chen Xia is actually my cousin. My parents and I came to Yuhang for a trip. We stayed at my cousin's house for one day and will leave tomorrow. Because he beat me, I deliberately said he was my boyfriend. Please don't be angry, okay? I beg you. The little brat clasped his hands together and said in a pitiful and cute way. Xuxia, it's really a misunderstanding, don't be angry. Chen Xia gestured to Wang Keek. The latter hurried to the car, took the flowers, and hid quietly beside it. I'm not angry. Are you done? Go back now. Tang Xuxia said lightly. Chen Xia took the flowers from Wang Keek. This is for you. Aki tilde. One sneeze and both of them got nervous. Chen Xia and Wang Keek couldn't believe it. Could it be such a coincidence? Sending flowers happens to coincide with pollen allergy. Tang Xuxia pulled her clothes, and the suit she had worn before had been replaced with a thin shirt and shawl. Chen Xia quickly took off his coat and climbed up. The president did not step back, and Chen Xia successfully put the clothes on her shoulders. Suddenly, Sister Liao's quote flashed in Chen Xia's sea of chaos. She has a crush on you. Be more proactive and bold. Be bold, eh? Chen Xia's heart beat faster, and he moved forward and hugged Tang Xuxia. A hint of surprise flashed across Tang Xuxia's beautiful face, but she did not push Chen Xia away. Next to her, Wang Keek got goosebumps all over her body and took out her cell phone to take a picture of this disgusting scene. Chapter 22 Encounter with Chen Liao. Have you hugged enough? Tang Xuxia spoke. Chen Xia quickly took a step back and said with a grin, that's enough. Tang Xuxia looked at the flowers in her hand and said, you are pretending to be my boyfriend, so you must act like a real boyfriend. Don't get too close to other women in the future. Do you understand? Chen Xia glanced at Wang Keek and saw that the little boy had already returned to the car. I didn't hear these words. A smile appeared on Chen Xia's face. Is the president declaring his sovereignty? Got it. Since I promised the president, my heart belongs to him alone. I just don't want others to see my flaws. Tang Xuxia explained proudly. Chen Xia smiled and said, okay, I understand. Let's go first. Well, be careful on the road. Chen Xia waved, walked to the car, got in and left. McLaren drove away. Tang Xuxia looked at the flowers in her hand and lowered her head to smell the fragrance. He then tightened Chen Xia's coat and walked back to the villa. Cousin, my sister-in-law is really a rich woman. In the car, the little boy said. No matter if she is a rich woman or not, you are not allowed to tell anyone about what happened today. Do you hear me? Chen Xia said while driving. Wang Keek nodded repeatedly. Okay, I will keep it a secret for my cousin. But I am curious, cousin, my sister-in-law is so beautiful and rich, why can't you tell others? It's very complicated, and I can't explain it in a short time. Anyway, just don't tell anyone. Remember this in the future. There are some jokes that you can't make casually. Do you understand? Chen Xia educated. Wang Keek nodded. Okay, I understand. After returning home and enduring a round of criticism from his mother, Chen Xia finally returned to his room and started writing today. Because there are not enough rooms at home, Chen Xia can only sleep on the sofa tonight and give the room to his cousin. So I have to start writing early and complete today's task. Readers are waiting for Chen Xia to feed them, so he has to write every day. At 11:30, the little boy wanted to go to bed, so Chen Xia went to the living room on his own initiative. Lying on the sofa, Chen Xia smiled. Although there was a misunderstanding because of the little brat Wang Keek, it was a blessing in disguise as Chen Xia took the step of hugging him. And the president didn't have any objection. I have to thank Sister Liao for helping me build a good impression of him. Otherwise, if I had hugged him suddenly, I would have been lucky not to have been caught by the uncle. Thinking of Sister Liao, Chen Xia opened the book and read. Sister Liao replied. Sure enough, she didn't see it because she was busy, not because she didn't reply. She is really so nice. You idiot, fool, idiot, I really want to throw you into the moat to feed the fish. Why didn't you explain it clearly on the spot? Idiot. Chen Xia was a little confused, and Sister Liao seemed very angry. It's understandable if you think about it, she has watched Chen Xia and the president develop together. I didn't expect my cousin to say that. I went after her, but the elevator was going downstairs, so I didn't catch up with her. But later I took my cousin to explain to the president, and now everything is fine. She forgives you. Sister Liao replied quickly. Yes, I sent her flowers. At that time, I remembered that you asked me to be bolder and more proactive, so I hugged the president. You are quite courageous. The CEO didn't feel disgusted, thanks to you, sister. Without your help in laying the foundation, how could I have been close to the CEO? Sister Liao, in this situation, can we try kissing next? After all, we are boyfriend and girlfriend, so kissing is normal, right? You. What's wrong? Sister Liao. It's okay, do you really want to kiss her? Of course. Chen Xia felt a little strange. Why did Sister Liao speak strangely today? Besides kissing, you are not thinking about other things, right? Sister Liao, is this something I can say? No, don't say that. Let's get back to the previous topic. Kissing is not impossible. But think about it, the president is not an ordinary person after all. Ordinary girls need to be deeply in love to kiss, and the president is even more so. So you have to find the right time, and do it when you feel the right atmosphere, otherwise it will backfire. It has to be Sister Liao. The first thing she said was the essence. I understand. Chen Xia sat up from the sofa, typing with a silly smile on his face. I have something else to do, so I'll log off first. Please be careful and don't make the CEO angry again. Do you hear me? Received, thank you Sister Liao. Chen Xia looked at the other messages, exited Yangxizi, put down his phone and went to sleep. The next day, Yuhan Guangxing Airport. Tang Xuxia waited at exit 2 with some trepidation. Liao came back today, and she came to pick her up. The reason why I was nervous was that I was afraid that my pretending to be Liao would be discovered. If Liao found out that she taught Chen Xia to pursue her, she would want to die. After a while, people began to appear at exit 2. Tang Xuxia collected her thoughts and looked for her best friend. Soon, a beautiful JK girl with twin ponytails appeared in Tang Xuxia's sight. Pulling a pink suitcase that was almost as tall as her, she stood out in the crowd. Although they are best friends, their styles are completely different. Liao. Tang Xuxia waved her hand. Qin Liao's eyes lit up, and she waved and ran to Tang Xuxia. A big hug came up. But because of the height difference, Chen Liao's face was completely submerged in the mountain stream. So soft, he told her. Chen Liao raised her head and said with a lustful look. Tang Xuxia was used to her frivolousness, and seeing that she was alone, she couldn't help but ask, "Are you here alone?" "Yes, my dad has something urgent to do, so he and my mom will come over in a couple of days." Chen Liao likes to hang out with her bestie so much that Tang Xuxia has suspected more than once whether she has a problem with her sexual orientation. "Let's go. Let's go to my house first, and then we can have dinner together. Then I'll take you back." Tang Xuxia helped her pull the suitcase and walked out of the airport together. Both of them are very good looking, and have completely different styles, so they attract attention wherever they go. Chen Liao looked around as she walked. "Xuxia, why don't you wait for me? I'm going to the bathroom. I've been having sex these past 2 days, and I'm always feeling uncomfortable." Tang Xuxia nodded. "Go ahead, I'll take your luggage to the car first. It's outside and you can see it when you come out." "Good." Chen Liao ran to the toilet. Not long after Tang Xuxia walked out of the hall with her suitcase, Chen Xia accompanied her cousin and her family into the airport from the nearby entrance. They were going to the capital. "Cousin, I'll go back and try the method you taught me. I'll come play with you again when I have the chance," my cousin said reluctantly. Chen Xia said, "Auntie, please don't come. If you want to come, wait until after you get married." Okay, I hope you guys have fun." Chen Xia watched his cousin and her family go in, then turned and left. In the sight, a few steps away, a little loli with twin ponytails appeared, and her back was very cute. But Chen Xia quickly withdrew his gaze. He is a married man, and he prefers mature women. Following her, we were almost out of the hall when something suddenly fell from the little girl in front of us. Chen Xia followed her, shouting and bending down to pick it up. "Little sister, your things." When I looked closely, I found that what the little girl dropped was actually the 6th dimension. Chapter 23 Bikini. The voice has been heard and the other party has turned around. Chen Xia could only endure the embarrassment, picked up the 6 degrees of space and handed it to her. "Little sister, you dropped your things." Chen Liao touched the JK skirt, and so that Chen Xia was a handsome guy, her pupils suddenly trembled, and she took it with an awkward smile. Har, thank you. My name is Chen Liao, handsome guy, what's your name? Can you add a green bubble?" "What? What did you say your name was?" Chen Xia took a step forward and said in surprise. Chen Liao was a little confused. "Chen Liao. Oh my god, Sister Liao. I'm Chen Xia. Why didn't you tell me you were coming to Yuhang? You're my mentor." Chen Xia was very grateful and moved closer. Chen Liao looked a little flustered and quickly took a step back. You recognized the wrong person. My friend is still waiting for me." After saying that, he ran away. Chen Xia was confused. It can't be such a coincidence, right? Same name. Or a homonym. Chen Xia was convinced. Does he have some holy body? As long as they appear at transportation facilities, they will mistake people for others. He shook his head and left the hall. He only took one morning off and had to go back to work. Outside the airport, Tang Xuxia was waiting by the car, watching Chen Liao running over with some annoyance. "What's wrong?" Tang Xuxia hurriedly showed concern. "It was so embarrassing. I just came out of the bathroom and the thing fell, and a handsome guy happened to see it. I told him my name and asked if he could add green bubbles, and he suddenly became very excited. I didn't tell him I came to Yuhang or that I was his mentor or anything like that. It was scary, so I ran away. What a pity. He's so handsome." Chen Liao said. "It's really embarrassing. I must have recognized the wrong person. Let's go." Tang Xuxia quickly sent her best friend to the car, looked around, and didn't see Chen Xia, so she couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Fortunately, Liao ran away. If the two of them had confronted each other, Tang Xuxia's impersonation of Liao would definitely be exposed. It would be so embarrassing even if I died. The Maybach started and slowly left the airport. It was still early for Chen Xia, so he found a restaurant and had something to eat before returning to the company. While eating, Chen Xia felt a little strange. Is it really a homonym or a homophone? Isn't it too coincidental? He took out his cell phone, logged into Yangshizi reading, and prepared to ask Sister Liao. "Sister Liao, have you come to Yuhang?" "No. No. Chen Xia was slightly surprised and replied immediately. What's wrong? Sister Liao asked again. Oh, nothing. I met someone named Chen Liao at the airport. I thought it was you, but it turned out to be a mistake. It was very embarrassing. Har har, it's really embarrassing. Maybe it's because of the homophony of the name. I didn't go to Yuhang. I have something else to do. I'll talk to you later. In Maybark, Tang Xuxia felt guilty and her pretty face turned slightly red. This scene was seen by Chen Liao, who was standing next to him. Suddenly came over to take a look. Who are you chatting with? Tang Xuxia was shocked and quickly turned the phone over. Nothing. There's something wrong with you. Let me see. Chen Liao said with a smile. Nothing to see, just company matters. Tang Xuxia couldn't help but look to the right. You're lying. Is it your boyfriend? I was wondering why you didn't complain to me about your parents urging you to get married. Turns out you found a boyfriend. Chen Liao can make associations. Tang Xuxia quickly said, okay, I can't hide it from you. I can be considered to have a boyfriend now. Hey, you're as smart as me. What's your name? Am I handsome? Am I good at that? Ahem. The driver, Xiao Liu, coughed twice. Chen Liao quickly restrained herself. What are you talking about? We've just started dating, what about you? You're not young anymore, don't you want to find a boyfriend? Tang Xuxia changed the subject. Not small. Chen Liao looked down at her flat chest. Tang Xuxia burst out laughing. The next morning, Chen Xia received a message from the president that she didn't need to go to the company. She told her manager to go on a business trip with her for a day. While packing up, Chen Xia Lu Paopao received a message from Lapangzi. Dude, the CEO is too cruel. He caught you and exploited you. Not only did he make you a slave, he also took you on a business trip. You are suffering. It's okay, I'll work harder so you can relax. Chen Xia typed a reply with a smile. Xia Gedae, I want to say more, the manager has assigned me something. Chen Xia exited Green Bubble, opened the Persimmon Writer Assistant, and scheduled the chapters to be published today. He quickly packed up, went downstairs and drove to pick up the president. The president was wearing a casual outfit today and carrying 2 bags. Chen Xia was very excited at the thought of enjoying some time alone with the president on the sunny beach. According to the address on the island one-day tour ticket, the two went to Huaxian port. Half an hour and arrived at the destination. Chen Xia parked the car in a nearby underground parking lot, and the two of them came to the dock. There were many boats of all sizes heard around, including fishing boats and yachts. There was a contact number for the person in charge on the ticket, so Chen Xia called it. Hello, your one-day island tour is not over yet, right? We have already arrived at the dock. When the other party heard about the one-day island tour, he was obviously stunned for a moment, then quickly smiled and said, No, wait a moment, I'll be there soon. After 7 or 8 minutes, a middle-aged man in a white shirt came running over. You are the ones who called me just now, right? Come with me. The uncle said. Chen Xia handed him the ticket. The uncle didn't even look at it and put it directly in his pocket. Chen Xia and Tang Xuxia followed him toward the rows of boats. Originally, Chen Xia thought it might be a yacht, or at worst a speedboat to take him and the president to the island. I didn't expect that the uncle walked so fast when he passed by those yachts. Finally, at the end of a row of fishing boats, we found a small, shabby-looking fishing boat. Uncle, is this the boat that takes us to the island? Chen Xia had a bad feeling. Yes. Don't worry, this ship is almost 30 years old, it's very safe. The uncle untied the rope and smiled. Chen Xia's heart skipped a beat. Wow, this ship is older than him. Xuxia, this. Boss, can these yachts be rented? The president asked the uncle. The uncle waved his hand quickly, there are no drivers now. If you want to rent a car, you have to book it in advance, and it's very expensive. You'd better take mine. I guarantee that I will take you there safely. Then take this one. The president said. Chen Xia was also helpless. The old man in the video game arcade thought it was an unexpected surprise, but it turned out to be a shock. I can only hope that the situation on the island gets better. Chen Xia followed the boss and jumped onto the boat to help the president take the things. The bags the president carried were normal bags, unsealed. Chen Xia never looked carefully when driving before. Now take it and take a casual glance at it. My heart was suddenly shocked. If he was not mistaken, there was a set of bikinis in the president's bag. Chapter 24, Deserted Island World for Two. Chen Xia assured that it was not his initiative to think of it, but his brain automatically filled in the blanks. The president's perfect figure, coupled with the purple bikini, made Chen Xia feel like she was about to have a nosebleed. The president jumped on it, and the uncle started the propeller and began to sail towards the island. I don't know what the situation on the island is like. If it's bad, forget it. I'll go to Cheongtai when I have a chance. Chen Xia stood next to the president and said. Tang Shuxia looked at the sea, feeling the sea breeze, her long black hair fluttering. It's okay, just come out to enjoy the breeze and see the scenery. When I was a kid, my parents were very busy, and every time I wanted to go to the beach, they refused. Now that I've grown up and have the ability to go by myself, I don't have the same interest as I did back then. Chen Xia felt the same way. There are some things that you no longer have that feeling for after you reach a certain age. The president used to be very frugal with words, but today she said all this to Chen Xia. It seems that in her heart, Chen Xia's status has been improved. Sister Liao has made great contributions. In Yuhang City, in a single family apartment, Qin Liao, who was playing games, suddenly sneezed, Aki tilde. She felt very strange. She kept sneezing for no reason these days. On the fishing boat, Chen Xia and the president stood together enjoying the sea breeze. In fact, it was not that they wanted to stand all the time, but the fishing boat was too small and there was no suitable place to sit down. Chen Xia took the opportunity to move closer to the president. When the president found out, he didn't say anything. Soon, an island appeared in the distance. It looks quite large and lush. You too, Love Island is just ahead. Please pay the boat fare and I'll take you to the island. The uncle opened the cockpit door and said. Fare. Chen Xia was puzzled. Are there additional expenses? Yes, 100 per person. The uncle laughed. Chen Xia was about to ask for clarification when the president took out 2 pieces of cash and said, send us up. Okay. The uncle put away the $200, started the fishing boat again, and headed towards the east of the island. As the fishing boat turned to the east, a beach appeared in front of us. The beach is not big, maybe about 20 meters long and 3 or 4 meters wide. There are some old-looking facilities on the beach, such as beach volleyball, sun umbrellas, lounge chairs and so on. There seemed to be many buildings nestled among the trees in the distance. If I was right, they were hotels, as marked on the ticket. However, what was strange was that at first glance, there was no one around the beach. We're here. Let me remind you that there aren't many people on the island right now. You'll need to take care of your own food, but you can find any place to stay. If nothing goes wrong, I'll pick you up tomorrow morning. The uncle stopped the boat next to the wooden bridge. If he went any further, the depth would be too low and the boat would run aground. Chen Xia looked at the deserted beach and felt something was wrong. Shuxia, why don't we go back? I feel cheated, this place seems deserted. Hey. I can't say that, I can only say that it will be abandoned soon. Hey Tilder. The uncle laughed. This so-called Love Island is a holiday project chartered by a travel company. It was pretty good in the first 2 years, but once summer comes, the island is crowded and tickets are hard to come by. Many rich people like to come here to play. Maybe it was due to poor management or problems elsewhere. The island was closed for 2 months. After reopening, the popularity dropped sharply and gradually fewer people came. Eventually the travel company gradually gave up on this project and turned to other places, and this place slowly became deserted. What's the difference? Uncle, take us back. Chen Xia was speechless. She had originally been thinking about living a sweet and happy life with the president. I didn't expect to be tricked by the boss of the video game arcade. Chen Xia gave him 3,000 at that time, so that giant doll was the best one. Okay, but the return trip is also 100 yuan per person. The uncle was so happy that he couldn't stop smiling. After all this, he got 400 yuan. What's not to like? No need, just get off the boat and come pick us up tomorrow. But the president suddenly said, jumping onto the wooden bridge. Seeing this, Chen Xia had no choice but to get off the boat and walk onto the beach with the president. The scenery is pretty good, and it's quieter without anyone around. What do you think? Tang Xia turned her head and asked. Chen Xia nodded. As long as you like it, I'll accompany you. There may be a small typhoon recently. Be careful. If the weather is good tomorrow, I'll come. The uncle turned around and left, his voice intermittent and unclear. Neither Chen Xia nor the president paid much attention and walked to the rows of beach chairs. The surface of the wood is white, but at least it has not weathered yet, so you can continue to use it after wiping it. If you ignore the desolation, the scenery here is really nice. The sand on the beach is very clean. I don't know if it is natural or artificial. The sea water is not as clear as that of Chen Xia, but it is better than most coastal waters. The weather is nice and the sunshine is gentle. Let's go check out the hotel first. It's deserted and there's definitely no electricity at night. Chen Xia suggested. Tang Xia nodded. The two walked towards their hotel located in the woods. If it weren't deserted, this would really be a great place to spend the holiday. The hotel's decorations are very high-end at first glance, and the lobby corridors are full of beautifying plants. It's just that now there's no one managing it, and it's become a little aggressive. Chen Xia jumped to the front desk and found a pile of room cards in the cabinet. The elevator was out of service, so the two of them took the stairs to go upstairs. The guest rooms were all open, and the furniture in many rooms had disappeared. It was obvious that the company had moved the car away to stop losses. But they haven't moved all the way, and most of the floors above the 5th floor are still there. Chen Xia checked each room to see if there was electricity. Unfortunately, there was nothing, so I kept trying up to the 7th floor. The 7th floor is the top floor, which is full of luxury suites and 2 presidential suites. Some of the things inside have been moved away, but most of them are still there, all covered with white cloth. Chen Xia did not give up and kept trying. Unexpectedly, one of the presidential suites actually had electricity. It may be because the power supply system of the presidential suite is different from that of ordinary rooms. Here on the island, the only possible sources of electricity besides generators are wind or solar power. No one is taking care of it, so even if there is a generator, it is definitely not working. So probably the latter too. Chen Xia tested the water again and found there was still water. Where there is electricity there is hot water. It seems that this place has been abandoned for a short time, and many settings can be used normally. I'll clean up, you take a rest. Chen Xia took the initiative to step forward, put away the white cloth covering the furniture, and covered it again when he left. It looks like there are only 2 of us on the island. Tang Xia walked to the large French window and said, "It would be great if a zombie crisis broke out outside." Chen Xia smiled. "What's good? Then the 2 of us will shoulder the responsibility of rebuilding human society." Tang Xia turned her head and glared at Chen Xia, making a scissors gesture with her slender fingers. "If you dare to mess around, I'll find a pair of scissors and cut you off." Chen Xia suddenly felt a chill in his crotch. How could that be? Am I that kind of person? Tang Xia smiled and stretched. "I'll change my clothes and go down to bask in the sun. Do you want to come? Change clothes." Chen Xia thought of the bikini in the president's bag. Go. 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 Chapter 25 Beach Volleyball with 3 balls. It's bad enough that the boss of the arcade is trying to trick Chen Xia, but now the president is here too. He didn't change into a bikini, just a normal set of clothes. Short sleeves and knee-length shorts. The president has a good figure, even if it is a simple communication. The outfit is also very eye-catching. But Chen Xia couldn't help feeling a little disappointed. A bikini? That was the CEO's bikini. What are you standing there for? Let's go. The president said as he pulled out a bottle of sunscreen from his bag. Her sunscreen and bikini were in a bag. Chen Xia glanced and saw that the bikini that was supposed to be in the bag was gone. If it's not in the bag, where could it be? Chen Xia suddenly understood. Tang Xia saw the change in Chen Xia's expression, pursed her lips, a little shy appeared on her face, and said proudly, "If you don't go, I will go by myself." Go, go, go. Chen Xia hurried to follow. The climate in Yuhang City in June is no longer cold, especially when the weather is good, it can even be a little hot. The sun is shining, making people feel happy. The 2 of them came to the beach chairs and cleaned one each. You've seen this before, right? The president suddenly said. Chen Xia didn't turn around for a moment, and asked in confusion, "What did you see?" Tang Xuxia smiled and took off her clothes without hesitation. Chen Xia's pupils trembled and he quickly sat on the chair, crossing his legs. The purple bikini, coupled with the president's perfect figure, can only be described in one word: extremely charming. It's normal to wear this at the beach. Why are you reacting so strongly? Is it pretty? The president was in a good mood today and was turning around for Chen Xia to see. Chen Xia bit her lip. AK was indeed not easy to suppress. Ahem, you're beautiful. You look beautiful in anything you wear. Now you're even more beautiful than ever. The review was okay. My preparation was not wasted. The president said proudly. He immediately lay down on the beach chair and started applying sunscreen on himself. Chen Xia closed his eyes and tried to calm his excited heart. Don't be impulsive, otherwise you will get cut. Are your parents free recently? The president asked while applying sunscreen. I'm free, what's the matter? You have already met my parents. According to convention, I have to accompany you to meet your parents. The president said. Chen Xia opened his eyes and took a look at the president's beautiful face. No kidding. Is it necessary to meet both sets of parents when pretending to be a boyfriend? Isn't it just a deal with the president's parents? Chen Xia sensed something different and showed a happy expression. Sure. I'll tell them and find a time. I just wanted to make the scene real. The president added an explanation. Chen Xia smiled and nodded. I understand. After a few seconds, the president's voice came again. Come and help me wipe my back, I can't reach it. Chen Xia stood up quickly, glad to help. The president really embodies the essence of having skin as white as cream. The back is white, tender and smooth, and the skin is as soft as white jade. If the back is like this, then... Ahem. Chen Xia shook off the evil thoughts and took the sunscreen. Just wipe my back, don't mess around. The president leaned on the chair and reminded. Chen Xia squeezed out sunscreen on her hands and said, Don't you believe in my character? Don't worry. Immediately rub it on the president's back. In an instant, Chen Xia clearly felt his heartbeat quickening. Chen Xia suppressed his restlessness and wiped it obediently. Seeing that Chen Xia did not take the opportunity to cause trouble, Tang Xuxia relaxed and asked, I may need that McLaren. I'll find it for you when I get back. What car do you want to drive? I'm not picky, it's just a means of transportation. I also have a Lavada, it's a bit broken, but it can be driven normally. Tang Xuxia smiled knowingly and denied it. No, you are my boyfriend now, don't drive that Lavada anymore, I will prepare it for you. Tang Xuxia rarely adds the word fake before her boyfriend. Chen Xia completed the task quickly. Although he was reluctant to end it, Chen Xia still knew his limits. Okay, my cooking skills are okay, right? Chen Xia said with some pride. Tang Xuxia turned over, not bad. Halfway through her words, her pretty face turned slightly red and she quickly turned her head away. Chen Xia suddenly realized something and hurriedly sat down on the beach chair awkwardly, crossing his legs. Damn it, I lost control of it. It's a nice day. Chen Xia said awkwardly. Tang Xuxia turned around, her face flushed. Yes, it's very good. An awkward atmosphere spread. Tang Xuxia closed her eyes and basked in the sun. At this moment, her beautiful face was slightly blushed, her hair was smooth, and her profile was incredibly beautiful in the sunlight. The ups and downs of her figure are a beautiful sight. Xuxia, you are so beautiful. Can I take some pictures of you? Chen Xia wanted to record this beautiful moment of the president. If he was facing an ordinary friend, Chen Xia would definitely not suggest taking a photo. But even though the president and she were boyfriend and girlfriend, she had a crush on Chen Xia. That's why Chen Xia dared to bring it up. The president did not answer immediately, as if he was thinking. After a few seconds, she agreed. Go ahead and take the photo. I want to see it after you finish. Also, don't show it to anyone except you. She still had her eyes closed. Good. Chen Xia didn't have a camera, so he had to use his cell phone. Fortunately, he learned a few tricks from watching videos and entered professional mode. The first one is a side profile, it's really amazing. The president in the sunshine is like a beautiful art sculpture come to life, with three-dimensional facial features, smooth skin, and that touch of pink that is a stroke of genius. The second photo is a side view of the whole body. The president stretched out one leg and tucked the other leg. When the picture expands from the face to their whole body, the president's long legs instantly took away half of the brilliance of her beautiful face. White, straight, long, fleshy, and just the right amount, neither thick nor thin. Even more amazing. The third one is the front view. Chen Xia is a serious person, so we can't give him a close-up in the front view, so we can take the picture a little higher. The president's beautiful figure is perfectly displayed. Chen Xia raised his hands a little higher to include himself, made a scissors hand gesture, and took a group photo. Later, Chen Xia found a few more angles to take pictures, including group photos and photos of the president alone. You finished filming? Let me see. The president half sat up, took Chen Xia's phone and started looking through it. Looked a little surprised. Not bad, I didn't expect you have a talent for taking photos. You are so beautiful, you can take a good photo with anyone. Chen Xia was telling the truth. Tang Xuxia's smile deepened. Are there any group photos? Yes, I took a few pictures. If you mind, just delete them. After Chen Xia finished speaking, the president suddenly stood up and moved closer to Chen Xia. Press and shoot for 5 seconds, then lift the phone. Come closer and say eggplant. Tang Xuxia pouted and pulled Chen Xia to the side, touching their shoulders. Eggplant. Chen Xia smiled. A normal group photo was taken. Just delete the first few photos. I'm closing my eyes. Tang Xuxia said, pulling Chen Xia to take many photos together. There were 2 serious ones, one was joking, and one was smiling brightly. After taking the photos, Chen Xia saw a beach volleyball not far away and suggested, Xuxia, do you want to play beach volleyball? Okay. The two walked over together. The volleyballs are still there, in all colors, very unique, and the nets are also in good condition. After cleaning up the debris around them, the two of them started playing. I don't know if it was intentional, but when Tang Xuxia took the volleyball, she chose a purple one. When playing this, Chen Xia felt as if there were 3 volleyballs swaying in front of him. Chapter 26. The big fish was stolen. The president has a physical cheat, and Chen Xia can't beat her at all. After playing for a while, the president felt tired and went back to the beach chair to rest. We are self-sufficient in food. We didn't prepare in advance, so we have to find some food. Tang Xuxia said. They came here in the morning and hadn't eaten on the way. It was already past 2 in the afternoon and they were already hungry. Chen Xia stood up and said, how about this, I'll go to the hotel to see if there is any fishing gear and try to catch some fish. Okay, I'll go see if there are any wild fruits or something like that around here. Tang Xuxia took the initiative to speak. Finding food is not Chen Xia's job alone. Love Island is not small, and as it used to be a holiday resort, there are probably artificially planted fruit trees around it. Okay, be safe. Chen Xia asked with concern. Tang Xuxia returned a gentle smile. Chen Xia returned to their hotel and searched the first floor. The first floor is rather messy, with discarded and worn-out items everywhere, and there is more dust than upstairs. There are no guest rooms on the first floor. Apart from the lobby reception, there is a large lounge area and several rooms for staff only. Chen Xia searched one by one, but he didn't find any fishing gear. Instead, he discovered some strange things. For example, a bag of lids and panties. They look quite new. I wonder which sister left them behind. There were also boxes of baby killers. Chen Xia took a look and found that they were big brands. This is normal in hotels. After searching for a while, Chen Xia still found nothing and slowly came to the stairs. Their hotel has a basement, and Chen Xia can only place his hopes there. Before entering, Chen Xia took out his cell phone for lighting. The signal on the island is weak, and there is basically no internet access. Apart from lighting and taking pictures, the mobile phone is just an electronic brick. With the help of the mobile phone light, Chen Xia entered the basement step by step. The basement was very large, and Chen Xia's footsteps echoed, sounding hollow. The air was a little chilly, and there were many stains and moss on the ground, probably because it had been soaked by water. Chen Xia continued to walk deeper. The light from a mobile phone is limited, and I can only see clearly 4 or 5 meters in front of me. I can't see anything further away. Chen Xia suddenly noticed that the moss at his feet looked a little unusual. Squatting down and observing, I found that there seemed to be footprints of something on the moss and stains. Because it was so messy, Chen Xia couldn't tell what animal left it. For a moment, tension surged into Chen Xia's heart. Thoughts of demons and monsters came to my mind all at once. People like to fantasize when facing the unknown. Chen Xia picked up the dry powder fire extinguisher on the wall for self-defense and continued searching for fishing gear. Those footprints might have been left by animals that strayed onto the island. As for the monsters, ghosts, and sea monster legends, using them to scare the president might be a good choice. There are many rooms in the basement. Most of them are locked and cannot be entered at all. Chen Xia opened several of them and finally opened one. With the help of the mobile phone light, Chen Xia discovered that it was a storage room. There was everything in it, neatly arranged and classified on the shelves. The fishing gear that Chen Xia was looking for is also here. It's a little dusty, but it doesn't affect the use at all. Chen Xia picked up a fishing rod, a sea pole, and 2 sets of hooks, then turned around and prepared to leave. There was an axe on the outer shelf, and Chen Xia picked one up. There are no monsters on the island, but there may be large animals on it, so you can protect yourself if you encounter them. Chen Xia just turned around, suddenly. A dark shadow flashed past the door. Chen Xia rushed out of the door with an axe in hand, only to see the other persons but as he disappeared around the corner. Hairy and pitch black. Probably a wild boar. This place used to be a tourist destination, and you never know if the rich would buy 1 or 2 farmed wild boars and roast them whole. Although this type of farmed wild boar has been re-wild, it is not as ferocious as purely wild ones. Of course, this doesn't mean that it's easy to catch them. The island is so big that it's more reliable than fishing. Chen Xia walked out of the basement, found a dead tree around the hotel, and chopped it up with an axe. There were indeed a few fat bugs inside. Today let the fish in the sea taste something 99% rare. Arriving at the end of the wooden bridge, Chen Xia put the baits on 2 poles and threw them as far into the deep water as possible. Not long after, the signal came from the hand rod first, and the boat went black. Chen Xia hurriedly lifted the pole, feeling a heavy force on his hands. The 7.2-meter pole bent instantly. Chen Xia had heard that the fish in the sea were very strong, but he didn't expect them to be so big, as if they were hanging on the earth. After exerting force again, Chen Xia discovered that he seemed to have really hung on the earth. The fishing line was taut and I couldn't move it no matter how hard I pulled. There was no other way. Chen Xia could only exert force and forcibly cut the fishing line. It looks like there are reefs down there. Chen Xia looked at the broken fishing line and said helplessly. Fish like to stay in coral reefs, but the complex underwater environment makes it easy for hooks and fishing lines to get caught. Chen Xia had no choice but to give up the hand rod and continue fishing with a sea rod. Haigan did not disappoint Chen Xia, and soon a signal came. Chen Xia lifted the rod again and reeled in the line at the same time. This time the force was far less powerful than before. Chen Xia was delighted instead. This was exactly the sign of catching a fish. The speed of reeling in the line in his hand increased, and a pitch-black thing gradually surfaced. Black sea bream, also known as sea crucian carp. It's edible, not animal protection. Chen Xia continued to reel in the line and lifted it onto the wooden bridge. Well enough. Chen Xia compared it with his palm. The black sea bream was much larger than his palm and it was estimated to weigh at least 1 kilogram. The axe appears and kills it instantly. The bait is still there, but we are not considering using its meat for the time being. Chen Xia put the worm on and continued casting the rod. If they catch 4 or 5 fish this big, it will be enough for Chen Xia and the president to have a good meal. While paying attention to the float, Chen Xia also disposed of the black sea bream's internal organs. After watching for a long time without any movement, Chen Xia lowered his head and the fishing line suddenly burst out, and the fishing rod was almost dragged away. Chen Xia quickly threw the black sea bream aside, grabbed the fishing rod and lifted it up with all his strength. This time the force was very strong, it wasn't hanging the earth, it must be a big fish. The fishing line cut through the water, making a whooshing sound. Chen Xia was trying to hold the fishing rod steady while reeling in the line. In offshore areas, there are very few large fish that can only be found in water depths of several dozen meters, such as big groupers, big cutlass fish, etc. But the weight in his hand was very heavy, and Chen Xia was looking forward to what kind of fish was on the hook. The water depth where Chen Xia was fishing was about 5 or 6 meters, so he could vaguely see his shadow quickly. It appears to be golden. The golden shadow is nothing but yellow croaker. Large yellow croaker is also good and is quite common in coastal areas. Judging from the shadow and the strength in his hands, it must be at least 3 or 4 kilograms. Together with the Black Sea bream just caught, it should be enough for Chen Xia and the president to eat. Chen Xia continued to reel in the line, preparing to pull it up. Suddenly, a grey shadow rushed over from somewhere. He bit the big yellow croaker. The next second, the fishing line that Chen Xia had just retrieved rushed out. In a blink of an eye, the fishing line ran more than 10 meters. Shit! Shark! Chen Xia was shocked. There are indeed sharks in the coastal areas, but it is not common to be robbed of fish by them. This kind of scene usually appears in places with abundant resources abroad. Didn't he expect it to appear here too? Chen Xia remembered that he had just processed the internal organs of the Black Sea bream, and it might be the smell of blood that attracted it. The reel in his hand was still releasing line. Chen Xia steadied the fishing rod and said, "If you want to steal my fish, let's see if you can escape unscathed." Chapter 27. The second brother does bad things. It has to be said that the strength of a shark is not comparable to that of a yellow croaker. The movement was too fast just now, and Chen Xia didn't see clearly what kind of shark it was, but just looking at its shadow, it must be around 30 or 40 kilograms. Under the powerful pulling force, the sea rod bent into a terrifying arc, and the 3.0 main line was taut, constantly cutting across the water surface, making a whooshing sound. Chen Xia was not in a hurry. He steadied the pole, increased the pressure, and let it run for a while. Sharks have great momentum, but poor endurance. Soon the force on the pole began to weaken. Chen Xia seized the opportunity and began to reel in the line bit by bit. If the shark charged again, Chen Xia would stop and wait until it had used up its strength before continuing to reel in the shark. After more than 20 minutes, it was successfully pulled out of the water. After seeing its appearance clearly, Chen Xia felt as uncomfortable as if he had eaten a fly. Their head is thick and flat, the tail fin is long and narrow, and the overall color is gray. Gray six-gill shark, a national second-class protected animal. This one should still be a baby now. An adult gray six-gill shark can grow to 4 or 5 meters, and the largest can reach 7 or 8 meters. After being caught, it refused to give in and shook its head to bite Chen Xia's leg. Bang! Chen Xia slapped him. Immediately, he pressed it down from above his head. Unfortunately, it is protected and Chen Xia cannot kill it. It was painful enough to have the big fish snatched away, but it was even more painful when the culprit was a protected young man. However, even though I can't kill it, I can still vent my anger. Chen Xia lifted its head with both hands and carefully opened its mouth. He tilde to e tilde. Screw you. Then he kicked it into the sea. I don't know if it felt insulted, but the gray six-gill shark didn't leave immediately. It circled around Chen Xia twice before disappearing under the water. Chen Xia put on the last worm and continued fishing. Chen Xia! Come quickly! Suddenly, Chen Xia heard the president's cry for help from a distance. Without even taking care of the fishing rod, Chen Xia picked up an axe and rushed to the woods. Because I was in a hurry, I didn't notice some broken shells on the ground and stepped on them. Fuck, his tilde. Chen Xia didn't bother to check his injuries and hurried into the woods, where he soon spotted the president's figure. The president seemed to be frightened by something and stood on the tree branch with a look of horror on his face. Chen Xia cut through the dense vines around it and came under the tree. Are you okay? What did you see? I didn't see clearly. I don't know if they were pigs or what. There were several of them. Tang Xuxia's face turned pale, and she was obviously frightened. It's okay, I'm here, come down. Chen Xia said, helping the president back to the ground. As soon as the president stood firm, Chen Xia took the initiative to give her a loving hug. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid. She hugged the president and patted his back, trying to comfort him like a child. Chen Xia's appearance made Tang Xuxia less flustered, and she showed a little shyness when being hugged. The two separated and Tang Xuxia showed the fruit in her pocket. There are some fruit trees nearby. I picked some. Let's go back first. That's great. I only caught one fish. I was going to catch a big one, but I didn't expect it to be intercepted by a gray six-gill shark, which is a protected species. Isn't it infuriating? Shark. That's really unlucky. Tang Xuxia was slightly surprised, then smiled. The two prepared to go back. Chen Xia's limping posture immediately attracted Tang Xuxia's attention. What happened to your foot? Oh, I wasn't paying attention when I came here just now, and I stepped on some broken shells. It's okay, I just cut my skin a little. Chen Xia said. Tang Xuxia quickly stepped back and put Chen Xia's hand on her shoulder. I'll help you bear it, and I'll deal with it for you when I get back. There is always a faint fragrance around the president. Returning to the beach chair, the president put his things down. Just sit still. I'm going to look for some medical supplies that I can use. Okay, take this with you. Chen Xia handed her the axe. While waiting for the president to come back, Chen Xia gently removed the broken shells from the wound. Immediately, his gaze shifted to the wooden bridge. The coincidence happened at this moment. As Chen Xia looked over, the fishing rod was suddenly dragged quickly and was about to fall into the sea. The jagged planks on the edge of the wooden bridge suddenly caught the reel. After hesitating for a second, Chen Xia rushed to the wooden bridge. The shell didn't pierce too deep, so it didn't hurt that much after it was removed. Chen Xia grabbed the pole before it was dragged away. Raise the rod and reel in the line. The force this time is just as great. Chen Xia continued to play it safe and slowly reeled in the attack. The opponent rushed forward several times, but was stabilized by Chen Xia. After fighting for more than 10 minutes, Chen Xia lifted him onto the wooden bridge. It was a big yellow croaker, and these things come in schools. But this one is bigger than the previous one. Chen Xia compared it and found that it was longer than his forearm. It's about 7 or 8 kilograms. This kind of individual is already very large. Chen Xia? I was not happy for 2 seconds before the president came back, put his hands on his hips and said fiercely. Chen Xia ran over quickly with the big fish in his hand. Xuxia, look how big this fish is. Idiot. Didn't I tell you not to move? Sit down quickly. I'll help you treat the wound, otherwise it will get infected and cause trouble. The president's face was full of concern. Chen Xia sat down obediently and said with a smile, Don't worry, I don't have athlete's foot. Tang Xuxia rolled her eyes at him and said, When I was looking for the first aid kit, I found some instant foods that were not expired. There were also some things that could be used. Chen Xia looked around and saw 2 packets of instant noodles, a few packets of compressed biscuits, 2 bottles of water and a can of yellow peaches. There are also 2 lighters. Does it hurt? Tang Xuxia helped Chen Xia disinfect, her eyes full of concern and heartache. Chen Xia shook his head, It doesn't hurt. Compared with your safety, it's nothing. Smooth talk. Tang Xuxia said coquettishly, but a smile appeared on her pretty face. If you're hungry, try a wild persimmon first. It's a little small since no one is looking after it, and it might be a little astringent. Tang Xuxia said as she bandaged Chen Xia. Chen Xia picked one up, wiped it on his clothes, took a bite and said, Tilda. Persimmons usually bloom in May and start to bear fruit in late June or early July. The climate in Yuhang City is relatively warm and a bit hot. But now it is just June and it has already produced fruit, so it is definitely not mature. It's not just astringent, it's actually numb, making your mouth and tongue numb. Is it really that bad? Tang Xuxia smiled bitterly. Without thinking, Chen Xia handed him the persimmon he had bitten into. If you don't believe me, try it. Tang Xuxia took it and took a small sip. Pho, it's so bitter. Chen Xia smiled. At the end of the day, the 2 of them didn't have time to eat lunch and it was already getting dark. After gathering supplies, Chen Xia started a fire, prepared the fish and grilled it. Tang Xuxia went back to their hotel and found a water boiler. Chen Xia removed the inner tank and put it on the fire to boil water. It got dark quickly, luckily Chen Xia had collected a lot of firewood. The flames are blazing, bringing warmth and a complete sense of security. The firewood crackled and the sea breeze blew. The warm light shone on the president's face, covering her stunning appearance with a ray of rosy glow that is rarely seen in the world. The 2 of them were very close. A lonely island, a dark night, a bonfire, and 2 people who can hear each other's subtle breathing. A strange atmosphere was quietly brewing. The president's face was flushed, whether it was from the firelight or shyness. Chen Xia remembered what Sister Liao said, if you want to transition to kissing, you must be in a suitable atmosphere. Isn't this the chance she was talking about? Chen Xia didn't want to hide his inner feelings and slowly moved towards the president. There was a flash of panic in Tang Xuxia's eyes. She pinched the sand in her hands helplessly, and her chest heaved slightly. She could feel her heart pounding. Chen Xia was already very handsome, and he looked even more handsome under the illumination of the bonfire. In the company, she can be an iceberg president, looking down on everyone. But at this moment, in front of this very handsome and sometimes cute guy, she felt restless. Tang Shuxia closed her eyes. I didn't expect my first kiss would be on a deserted island, but it's pretty romantic, isn't it? He tilde her. Suddenly, a rapid humming sound came from the darkness not far away.